York to do theater. And also, I did a Next Generation episode. Peace. I played the character of Nicholas Locarno. My first job was as a Munchkin in The Wizard of Oz. I wish you could have seen me. It's a good part.
Third Munchkin from the left.
Voyager Q&A continues next Monday, exclusively on UPN.
Hello, I'm Robert Picardo, challenging you to design your own colony on Mars. If you're between kindergarten and 12th grade, you can join the Mars Millennium Project. Your mission? To imagine how 100 people would live, work, and play on Mars in the year 2030. To find out how to participate, go to this website, www.mars2030.net. Tell your teacher, tell your friends, and start thinking about your colony on Mars. For more information, call the Planetary Society.
The Star Trek Voyager series finale. The script is top secret. Now ET is behind the scenes as the crew gets ready for the end.
Very hard to say goodbye.
We're on Star Trek Voyager's top secret set as the crew films their final mission.
I won't miss the corset.
After traveling light years through space and 171 episodes, the crew of Star Trek Voyager is coming home, and we're on the set for the top secret final episode.
What is it?
Judging from the tachyon emissions, some sort of temporal rift.
Secrecy is at an all-time high on the set as producers aim to surprise their loyal fans.
They're giving scripts very secretively. They're sending home revisions under, basically armed guard, practically.
After 7 seasons on the air, the 2-hour finale airing May 23rd on UPN will center on the crew reaching its ultimate destination. For the audience, it should resolve some lingering questions.
I think they will find themselves unsettled by what, in fact, the writers have come up with, which is profoundly clever and very moving.
What keeps the cast going is knowing that soon they'll be able to shed their Star Trek makeup and wardrobe.
I won't miss the corset.
Every time you sit down quickly, you get a wedgie, which is never a good feeling.
Fire phasers.
Over the years, the show, like the whole Star Trek franchise, has continued to provide a safe harbor for its earthbound fans. For its cast, the series finale speaks to the friendships that have been forged through time and space.
I just read that final scene. That will be a diabolical day for me. If I get through that, I'm stronger than I think I am. Very hard to say goodbye.
Kate says she's not sure if they'll roll out a big cake on the show's last day, but Kate joked she was hoping for a big vat of whiskey.
A viewer question for Ethan Phillips.
Ethan, how long does it take to get all of Neelix's makeup on?
What makeup? Oh, ow! Very painful. It's a love-hate relationship with this makeup. I'm kidding. Thank you very much for asking that. Actually, it takes quite a while. I earned a law degree while it was going on this last season. I would say anywhere between 2.5 hours to 2 hours and 45 minutes. It would depend on how much coffee my makeup man had that morning.
Tomorrow night, a question Captain Janeway's definitely not ready for. Voyager Q&A.
Lieutenant Paris, if you could live anywhere in the universe, where would it be?
Voyager Q&A.
Exactly how many phaser banks and photon torpedoes are on board Voyager?
Voyager Q&A.
Captain Janeway, as the female commander of a starship, do you ever feel that your leadership's in question?
Voyager Q&A.
Neelix, what's your favorite alien dish?
Starting in May, the crew of Voyager answers viewer questions exclusively for UPN. Star Trek fans, set your VCRs.
The countdown has begun for the next great adventure from one of the most successful franchises on television, Star Trek Voyager. Now shooting spectacular new episodes from the final frontier.
Action! Red alert! Action! Go for it!
Drop that weapon. Cut. Presenting the third installment in this remarkable series, set in the same time frame as Star Trek The Next Generation, and featuring a new team of elite Starfleet officers.
Gentlemen, welcome aboard Voyager.
Thank you, sir. In the pilot for Voyager, we actually see the ship stationed at Deep Space Nine. That's where all the various crew members come to board it to get ready to go on a mission. And they're going to go chase the Maquis, which is an outlaw group of Federation colonists who have decided to branch off and fight the Cardassians by themselves.
Hold on!
Captain, there's something out there.
Brace for impact.
Without warning, both crews are hurtled 70,000 light years away from home.
We set the series in a very, very distant part of our galaxy. A part of our galaxy so far away that at warp speed it would take 75 years to get home.
Commander, you and I have the same problem. I think it makes sense to try and solve it together, don't you?
Now, an untested crew must join forces with rebel freedom fighters on a desperate mission of survival.
Bridge to sickbay. Doctor, can you hear me?
When Voyager takes off, they've got a real doctor, a flesh and blood doctor who is killed early on in their mission, and they are forced to use the emergency holographic medical program, which is designed only for supplemental use. In other words, if the doctor's incapacitated or too busy, you're supposed to plug in this program, and I appear.
She may be stuck with you for a while, Doc.
There's no need for concern. I am capable of treating any injury or disease. No concussion, you'll be fine. Clean him up.
To help them boldly go where no one has gone before, a revolutionary new starship has been designed in the classic tradition of the USS Enterprise.
It is built for maneuverability. It's built for action. This is a ship that can go places the Enterprise couldn't go.
And its journey will lead the crew into encounters with extraordinary new aliens from strange new worlds.
Do you know this area of space well, Mr. Neelix?
I am famous for knowing it well. He's a good guy, you know. He's the guide. He's the, he knows everybody they're going to need to know to negotiate and navigate around this part of the universe, so he's a good man to have on board.
My friends, it's good to see you again. Whoa, wait, yes, it's wonderful to be back.
Following in the illustrious footsteps of Captain Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard comes a new breed of commanding officer, Captain Catherine Janeway.
I'm aware everyone has families and loved ones at homes they want to get back to. So do I. But I'm not willing to trade the lives of the Okumba for our convenience. We'll have to find another way home.
What other way home is there? Who is she to be making these decisions for all of us?
She's the captain.
What could be more special than a female cap where no woman has ever gone before? The beauty of being a female captain is that one can see that a woman can triumph very well professionally and still maintain her soul. Engage.
Now, at the farthest reaches of the galaxy, the time has come to battle new alien threats and face the great unknown mysteries of the universe.
Red alert!
There's a life form here.
There's only one other way out of here.
Paris to Janeway.
You know, they just tried.
Get down! Firing photon.
A new legacy of bold adventures is ready to launch.
Somewhere along this journey, we'll find a way back. Mr. Paris, set a course for home.
Star Trek Voyager.
A viewer question for Captain Janeway.
Kate Mulgrew, did you have any input into prop selection for the Ready Room? And if so, are any of the props your own personal items?
Thank you, Christian. A prop indicates the inner life of the character. And I'm afraid it has only been the flowers, which are constant and very beautiful. And I don't want to steal from Patrick Stewart, whose idea was so superb about the Shakespearean canon. Next season, you'll see Janeway putting her own personal stamp on the Ready Room.
Later tonight, Lieutenant Paris reveals his origins.
And also tomorrow night, a first for UPN's Star Trek Voyager as a cosmic bad boy beams up. Hal Eisner reintroduces us to Q.
If Star Trek producers are right, tomorrow night's Star Trek Voyager episode may be one of their most watched ever. Why? Because of two very familiar faces. We went behind the scenes during shooting. Take a look.
Q. What the hell is going on?
My apologies, Commander. To you all. My name is Catherine Janeway.
His name is
William Riker. Nice to meet you.
And tomorrow night, while Riker meets Janeway, Janeway meets Q.
Trouble sleeping? Did you ever try warm Calarian goat's milk?
Get out. He's omnipotent, flamboyant, godlike. He's pestered Starfleet crews for years.
He's kind of a cosmic trickster.
And he's a big ratings getter. That's why the makers of Voyager wanted Q to beam aboard.
What's more compelling than seeing a face that you love and know very well?
I'm here to be abused by Q, as always, as I've been for 8 years.
Riker steps onto Voyager, crossing over from the Next Generation. And Q treads on some landmine issues.
The issue of euthanasia, the issue of suicide, assisted suicide, the issue of life, of the inability to find more pleasure in life.
But what's Q up to? Will ratings soar? And Q and Janeway in bed?
Q, not Janeway.
It's another wonderful Sunday. It's a beautiful day. Hello, everybody. We're here to watch some... We're here to begin. What are we beginning, Auto?
I don't know, because you didn't advertise it, so...
I didn't. I'm not Wonder Man. We're doing the Summer of Voyager. This is a project you've been much keen to start. Auto, it's kind of your little brainchild to say, like, yeah, let's do this.
I'll talk about it during the review, because no one watches the watch-along anyway.
We are going to do. But we're going to start with... We already kind of cheated recently and watched one episode from Season 5 of Voyager, so ignore that bit. But we'll go through the rest.
Latent image.
Latent image.
Look at fucking Overtired. He's here on a 1 hour notice. What a damn giga, Chad.
What a hench.
That guy's a hero.
He's our
hero.
Biggest fan. So yeah, how are you guys? I'm little bit sleepy. We had an early dinner and a bottle of wine and watched The Mask, so I am of an energy tonight.
This is an energy.
Yeah.
This is like you just got home Friday afternoon, evening. You just hung up the keys.
Yeah.
You slipped off your shoes. You're like, all right, all those season ones are mostly done. Now we get some good fucking Voyager. We got the whole season 5 ahead of us, the whole weekend, proverbial weekend. This is going to be good. I actually looked through today. 2/3 of these, I'm probably going to give a 9 or above, which seems absurd, but it's my favorite season of Star Trek. So,
honestly, it's one of those things where it's like you don't really think about just how many episodes are that good back to back to back to back until you just look at the episode listing. And it's especially like when Voyager got into its groove, like people give Voyager a lot of shit, right? And like some of it's like warranted. But I feel like part of the advantage of it, I think I've mentioned before that like Voyager scripts were coded as if they were TNG season 8, like the production things on the scripts. And here's the thing, that gives you like a thing of they're not like varying up the formula that much, right? And that's a bit of a downer. But guess what? When you have the formula perfected, that means you start fucking hitting banger and banger and banger
after banger
like,
after banger.
Because like even with like TNG seasons like 3 through 7, you occasionally get like a few duff ones. Like season 7 especially has a few ones where I'm like, I was even thinking of stuff like Inheritance, where it's like that episode's about nothing. It's really just kind of.
Wait, is that the Jason Vigo one?
Yeah, I don't.
I do like that one. Actually, I was thinking we very often or very infrequently are apart by more than like 3 or 4 points. So I'm looking forward to a few of the more controversial ones.
Yeah, that'll be a conversation. But guess what? Season 5 of Voyager, there will be no conversations. There will just be, man, this is a good fucking episode.
I'm in. Would you like to watch a trailer? Would you like to watch one of the stunning
yes,
90s music? One of these classic 90s production trailers. Let's hit it. Let's go Voyager.
Come on. Please.
In the dead of night.
We're losing power.
When the lights go out. I saw something. Terror strikes.
We've got company.
Trapped in a battle.
They're all around us.
Hit him with everything we've got.
With 2 enemies.
We won't survive another attack.
There's no way out and no time left.
We're crossing the threshold.
On the next Star Trek Voyager.
They got the big Maori tribal drums in the background.
Yeah. I actually think that was a pretty accurate trailer from what I remember of this.
That's not a bad trailer.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that it didn't give away a lot of the episode. Like, that kind of makes you think it's a bit more action heavy, and this does have action, but it's a lot more thoughtful, and like I feel like that'd be a pleasant surprise. The attention. It builds the tension.
I'll pre-rate this I kind of already know what I'm giving everything this season, so it'll be a little boring. I'll pre-rate a 9.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but it's damn good.
Yeah. Stars?
I'm probably going to have to sign off on a 9. Like, there's just so much about this episode that hits just right. And I feel like if you were creating a playlist of I want to sell someone on Star Trek, this would be an easy include for a top 10 of just I want to sell you on what Star Trek is about. This is a kind of a perfect encapsulation in some ways.
Okay, I'm trying to think what I don't like about this episode. I have watched it fairly recently, and I remember watching it and being like, "This is great."
It's got a lot of Neelix, I think.
In which case, it's a 2. No, okay. I'll go for it. I'll sign off on a 9. 9 straight 9s all the way down. You've hit the jackpot. Right. Okay. Let's spool up
the episode the Germans don't want you to know about. 999.
Spool up your Paramount Pluses.
Look, I have German heritage.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I liked it.
While everyone's spooling up their Paramount Pluses, their Blu-ray drives, and their ill-gotten copies, MP4 SO5E01 Night.exe. Do you want to
I'm gonna watch on my pregnancy test while I'm playing Doom. Oh wait, no one's gonna get that because we haven't released that video.
No, we haven't. No, I was going to say we have something exclusively for our subscribers in the works. A little chill pod for you guys to chill out with. Hopefully, should be releasing soon. But are you guys ready? Shall we play some Voyager?
I'm ready for the dead of night.
Let's go for the dead of night. No, that's the still of the night. That's Whitesnake. Anyway, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Punch it.
Always a good start.
Yeah.
Those of you who acquiesce to my demand.
I love the black and white.
Otto! Hey, you too can enjoy the podcast.
I meant to say nice. It says Nick.
Macare.
Are you guys Captain Proton fans?
I love Captain Proton.
Some people hate it.
I wrote an entire tabletop campaign for our charity show that was Captain Proton, and that's one of my favorite hours of DMing I've ever done. So, you know.
Space Force.
A shame how they reduced Harry Kim to a set of tits.
Come on, how can you hate that? That line read was immaculate.
I love how this is just a trope on, like, what Star Trek broke, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. No, all this, like, Buck Rogers stuff just died.
Yeah. Does the girl first.
Yeah, no, like, Constance Goodhart, get her, like, freed. She'll be really useful if you have to do some typing.
Not the best green screening they've ever done.
Yeah, a little bit rough. Well, it's because of black and white.
So last
Friday
was the 26-year anniversary of this episode.
Oh, wow. Robot.
I
love that.
I love Garrett Wang just having like a lot more fun during these episodes as well.
Was that her only line? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure the timeline soaps will scour Memory Alpha to find out what they can use for an arena quote.
Mm.
And historical overview.
Uh-oh.
You dipshits. God damn it. Stop fighting down there.
Yeah. I love that. That's a great line read. He's irritated that they're spoiling his holodeck time. Just a little power surge.
Seven, be real. You love giving bad news.
Yeah. The report doesn't have anything on it. It just says, fuck you.
Oh, theta radiation. Well, that's no good. That's a really good They Might Be Giants song, by the way.
Ah. There's a little bit of Prodigy, something Prodigy pulled there. But carry on.
I like this comparison here. Becalmed at sea.
Yeah.
His collar, is that a little loose?
A little bit, yeah.
It's sagging under the weight of his pips.
Yeah, the burdens of command.
Is there anyone else on?
Do I dare go into her den? Well, no, because there's nothing to see.
That's true.
Great lighting, by the way, in this episode. Everything's like self-lit from Voyager.
Yeah,
And they do flares and shit, I think.
It's one of those things where it's like you can tell the CGI people were flexing a little bit. They wanted to show
Full rise.
Yes. I thought, actually, if you were to pick a national... Well, no, okay, the national anthem of Star Trek would be the original series, but if you were to pick your national anthem, I think mine would probably be DS9. Because that feels much more imperial, much more like something you'd hum along to in a football game.
TNG is a good march. DS9's a little slow.
True.
Yeah, DS9, you know what it is? It's like DS9's theme is the amazing grace of your imaginary thing. Like the one that everyone likes, but then the TNG theme is the one that most epitomizes what the country is about.
Actually, that makes sense because Britain's Jerusalem one is actually a rip-off of Holst's Jupiter.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
Everyone
so that
rips
makes
off-
sense. And
everyone
TNG is a
does.
rip-off of the motion picture, so there you go. That fits.
Yeah, Neighbor points
say
out that you stand much closer before Ride Squeeze, and someone it would be so awkward.
Dude,
yeah,
if you had
but I
Jerry
also
Ryan
kinda
in that
miss that.
bodysuit next to you, you'd be like, "Oh, have everything in frame? Let me just move over a little bit." What percent is this ale?
It's high enough.
They
Yeah,
don't even
cheesy
tell ya.
B-movie sci-fi is a much better holodeck version than Gothic romance mystery novel. Because, like, Gothic romance is not where it's at. Gothic horror, I would love to do a Gothic horror holodeck thing. That'd be good fun.
Oh, God, no.
Like,
Next time we do
Dracula and stuff like that.
Next time
Or
we do
Mary
Twilight
Shelley's
Zone,
Frankenstein.
I'm gonna pick something like that that I know you'll like.
It's my vibe. I vibe with it. Like, there's a reason I love, like, Resident Evil and Silent Hill. They absolutely tap into that Gothic horror type, like, aesthetic.
All right, jokes are over, everybody.
Yes,
Now
sir,
it's
now.
night.
Pay attention. Lock in.
A little blinking lights, the green on the side, and then the red glow.
You almost never pay attention to the green, apart from in this episode, yeah.
Carrying the battery.
Mm. Oh, I know this clip
Yeah,
from...
we've done this a few times in What the Dub. Let's see.
Theme by Jerry Goldsmith. Words here to fill time. Why is Helix included on the...
They have to give him something to do.
He probably complained until they brought him in.
I mean, the Doctor did the exact same thing.
Actually, I do appreciate this because they're going so far. They almost never have episodes where nothing's happening. They always have
Yeah.
some new anomaly nearby.
Mm. Watching Balana right now and Doc are so good. Balana's just disassociating.
The funny thing is, I mean, the ship still runs the same as it would be if they were in normal space. It's just it's dark outside, and they haven't stopped for a while.
They're just trying to conserve energy a little bit.
Oh, that's true.
And stave off boredom.
Elusive.
Very simple.
Yeah, actually, Neelix is a Chad here. He's trying. Oh,
That's a nice bit of emoting there, actually, yeah.
Love that line read. Here comes fucking Harry. You nerd.
Yeah. A 2-year vacation. Yeah, just go stir crazy.
Yeah.
This is something that kind of Discovery dialed into, which is that, like,
He just
Starfleet
dismisses
people...
them. They all get up. He's like, "No, just you, Harry. Dismissed."
Yeah, get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked, Harry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate that, like, Discovery kind of dialed into this aspect a little more, which is that Starfleet are, like, science nerds, and they get bored if they don't have something to examine.
Yeah.
That's a bit.
I would think Paris would be bouncing off the walls at this point. Like he doesn't even fly anywhere.
Yeah. Like he's literally just going through those hologram like shit. Oh, I remember this. This is a great scene, actually.
Bergamot.
Dude, look at those chairs. Is that the best they can do on the spaceship?
Come on.
Look, IKEA is only so good.
I think the set design is probably aging the fastest out of all the Voyager
Yeah,
stuff.
a little bit. Yeah.
Kind of almost looks like the Twilight Zone set.
A little bit. Yeah, no,
I'm
if you put
expecting, like,
black
a
and white,
face to
put Rod
pop up.
Serling. Yeah. Yeah, it's like do 20,000 feet, but do it in night. So predictable.
The Novakovic Gambit.
You could play other games.
Ooh.
Ooh. Is that really her vibe? Oh,
No.
yeah.
Come on, don't leave Balana. Why don't you jab back?
Yeah.
Fight rotation. Optimize our resources. Yes. Fucking Neelix. I love him. Of course, it kind of immediately undercuts it when he starts a panic attack. But
Yeah, no, he grows a spine. He's like, oh, I don't like this.
Kind of triggers me, that does a little bit. It's a good panic attack.
I love Doc's line coming up about nilophobia. Layman's terms, the fear of nothingness.
You fucking ass.
So isn't it weird that they can experience passage of time when they're turned off?
Yeah, that's very strange.
Because Doc does it, and then, what's his name? Moriarty does it. Is that only when you're like a sentient hologram? Or is it all of
I
them?
guess so, yeah. Like, I guess they only have the cognitive ability to register that it's something as opposed to what they normally experience. I was just burning my Dan Kush. Don't worry about it. That's a pretty good little pun. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Tuvok and Seven didn't really get enough to do with each other. I felt like they could have had a dynamic here. Oh, here we go. Just like hiding like she's like an XCOM villain.
She's on Overwatch.
Shouldn't they be trying to get it through as fast as they can? Instead of exploring?
I don't think they are exploring. I think they are at warp.
Well, she just said change course. It's a little out of the way, but...
Well, I think they're changing course to avoid it. It's dangerous.
Janeway in shadow, yeah.
It's called clinical depression, Catherine.
Charming. The cube's about now.
She has incredibly distinctive nasal purr.
It's long for the days when we were under constant. I have this whole thing memorized.
Yeah.
By the way.
Of course you do. Well, the primordial atom burst, and then you can't help but have chicken soup and replicators and.
No.
Well, there are some dead people.
So, what do you guys think about this? This crisis of conscious / this particular scene.
I think it makes sense for her to be wondering about it.
I always feel she's a little bit petulant about it. Like, I understand the motivation behind it, but so much pity, you know?
It feels
Well,
like
I mean, she's got nothing to do but think.
Yeah, they've been busy the last 4
Oh,
years.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I just
Yeah.
I end up looking down on her a little bit for it.
It makes her more human.
Well,
we all have our weak moments.
Lannister send their regards, yeah.
Tell the cat says the regards and she just turns up in the hallway with a phaser rifle.
Yes. Tell Neelix it was me.
Okay, I actually like the Echoes of the Void.
Yeah.
This is the inner light of Voyager.
Oh my! You shut
The
up.
flute solo. Da, 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 yeah, da, da, da.
What do you call this one, Harry?
Yeah, and everyone else is cleared off the bridge. So they don't want to hear it.
Put your feet off the consoles. Come on.
I call this one Ode to Jenny Delaney. Dude, Tuvok, hair all the way down. This is
Yeah, he doesn't even give a thing. Yeah.
Tuvok is so bored he's willing to listen to him play the clarinet.
He's like, I'm going insane. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember this.
There's just nothing but good scene after good scene.
Yeah.
It's just so. Yeah, it's just feminist literature.
Dude, what a great robots. Get the mail slot.
Just the pull trash bin effect.
Borg.
I love the arms. Never noticed like the arms.
Actually, I do like Tom's hair like this.
Yeah,
It's better than
it
his normal
suits
hair.
style. Yeah.
I want this to cut back in Tuvok's just in various states of despair.
No, he's just like hung himself.
No, he's on the tuba next to him. He's playing with him.
Playing the Vulcan loop. No, you know what? Can I get the meme of Calvin and Hobbes with like the oven door and the trumpet, and it's just like Harry and Tuvok?
Dude, look at that shot.
Yeah, this is good.
Zoom in,
good
and
stuff.
she looks back, and the lights go down. It's like, oh, it's so good.
Oh, that's a good shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first time or only time in Trek they go full blackout, right?
Yeah.
The void itself dislikes your music.
You hit the bum notes.
Ooh.
Not even a
There's
little bit of haptic response.
No bleeps, no sweeps, and no creeps.
Man, the lock plate. Sail the mizzenmast.
Dude, this is very submarine-y right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about the submarine battles. No one talks about like relaying orders and shit. Getting inside the plasma injector, sir.
You can't look out through a flashlight. Great.
Oh, it's a cute little anachronism.
So wait, hang on. How's the holodeck still running?
Because I think it's a weird blackout. Yeah.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
That's why it's not a 10.
Plot twist, it's a TV show.
Okay.
It's not a historical document.
There you go. Independent subsystem.
Oh, actually, yeah. Confirms that Picard.
I mean,
you actually answered it.
Yeah.
Like, if they're free diving or whatever and the power goes out, they don't want them to splat.
Why did their lights go out then? Why are they in pitch black?
Don't ask.
All right, okay.
Because environmental controls are still active, but not necessarily lights.
Right, okay.
We will explain away any questions you have, Idle. Don't worry.
Just hand wave me away.
Oh, that's true, because they bring up in Picard when
Yeah.
everyone's about to die and we desperately need power. God, leave the holodecks on. So there you go.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of my gripes.
Yeah, that was dumb as hell.
Some kind of.
This is cool. I think the only way this could be cooler is that they like rig the exhaust for something and then phaser the exhaust and ignite it in a big trail around the ships or something. That would be hilarious.
Time to shoot out your flare gun.
I am Borg.
Yeah, you know what? If they ever did like a Star Trek fighting game, I bet you 7 and 9 would be busted as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I mean, that is... I'm sure that creeped out a lot of people when it aired.
I do love like the power in those words of just disengage safety protocols. Every time you say that, someone's about to get fucked.
You got killed by Captain Proton's ray gun, like.
You know what? If it works, it works.
Dude, this is such an unusual pairing.
Yeah.
Neelix hanging on to Chakotay.
So can I.
It's yours.
That's a little dramatic.
The hunt is on. I am the Alpha Prime.
She was ready. She was primed.
Janeway's in Hirogen mode.
Oh, wait. Oh, dude, look at that lighting of the underside of the
that's good.
hull. So they start the series with 38 photons. They use one of them just to slowly light the hull of another ship briefly. Like, great use of your photons.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's good.
Or no, did he say it's a flare?
Yeah, it's a flare. Yeah, like they should have just
Whatever.
said we could make new photon torpedoes. Like that was such
Yeah.
fake tension.
That's all they needed. Oh, look at Chakotay in that shirt. So hot.
How you coming back around on him, huh?
Yeah, it comes and goes. Looks like he's wearing a wrist brace.
Oh yeah, he's got like the little tactical light they have.
Yeah, the lights, yeah.
Now that's a cool effect.
See, you guys are just like, we've just watched Andromeda, so you guys are like, any CG is just good.
This is infinitely better.
It actually genuinely is.
No shit.
This feels like actual peril. They're getting attacked from all angles. They're boarded. They're attacking outside. They're draining power.
Oh, another big boy.
Another Enterprise.
Fireworks. That's funny.
Dramatic mood lighting engaged.
Why would you agree to
dry
that?
wit.
Leroy?
Yeah.
Why would you promise resources?
Because they can rate spatial charges, but not photon torpedoes.
Dun, 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 dun. Dude, I love the music too. Oh, I love everything.
I love it. I love it.
I love it.
I love how she says it.
I do like the Malon quite a bit as a concept. I feel like they've aged better than a lot of other Star Trek species in terms of like what they're about.
They're the Donald Trumps of the Delta Quadrant.
Mm. Good shot of Janeway and Chakotay there as well. Like, it's very heroic of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going for with this angle.
Hmm.
The camera angle, I mean. See, they give it away too early.
Yeah.
Anyone with a brain can tell. Although, they're not holding the facade long anyways.
Yeah. Kind of is my concern, actually. They were on my chip.
They're eating our cats. They're eating our dogs. Hand me the creature. It is a cool, it's like an old diving bell or collar, you know what I mean? It's like latched on with rusty metal and shit. It is a great design.
It's got that Bioshock aesthetic as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Malon shock.
Guess what? That would work.
Mm-hmm. You'd rather be hauled as deadly garbage.
Well, they do say later over Tired that they apparently pay them more in like a month than people make in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to die, so.
Yeah. And it's also a case of, guess what? People are dumb as hell. Like, that's the entire point of the Malon, is they are a satire of, like, modern late-stage capitalism. And guess what? Modern late-stage capitalism is not smart.
I like when they give you a justification for the mood lighting.
Mm.
The whole episode just feels differently. Different.
It's definitely a unique season opener. Like, it doesn't do... Because this is at the time where every season opener was part 2, wasn't it?
A lot of them. Cool vocal distortion here.
Good makeup.
Yeah, he looks like he's been melted by the fucking Malon radiation.
Like Tar Baby.
Left lip. Yeah, I have thought that over Tired. It is kind of dumb. Like, unless he's literally terminal, there's no reason not to. If you control the technology, you can name your price. I'm confident they won't.
Stop doing that.
Here's another odd shot for no reason. I think they're just going all in on trying to make everything feel different.
They just want a bit of flair.
That table is so dated.
Yeah.
It's like Enterprise C era tech.
I can't believe that they're actually coming back to Tuvok and Chakotay as a dynamic.
Dude, they. Oh, and then I love how serious he gets. Like first he ribs him, and then when he realizes it's go time.
I just know her that well.
Yeah, I've been reading a diary.
And Tuvok's whole shtick is he's the most competent man on the ship. So.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good story as well.
What's with the weird art on the wall behind him?
It's 24th century art. You wouldn't understand.
They should chuck that in the replicator and turn it into ship's energy.
Self-sacrificing to a T.
Put it mildly. I love this. It's like a good guy mutiny. Like we're not going to let her screw herself over.
Yeah.
Sensoros. I love the music.
Just got to send this one Twitter post. No, it's not called X.
Vacationing on the beautiful Starship Voyager.
Yeah, it's the selfie of him and Doc and Janeway.
Ate some bad food on the VOY. Yeah, shouldn't he be emanating something if he's saturated with radiation?
He should be glowing.
Yeah, but doesn't this feel like a season ender or something?
A little bit.
It's got good stakes, I feel.
Nice little different transporter effect as well.
Haven't seen purple before.
And there's that stinky ass gas ship.
She's putting up a vibe like she's annoyed that someone woke her up and she's got to deal with this.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it was.
Every morning, Cash goes and scratches at the door, and I'm like, oh, just one morning, could you not?
I was literally about to say, yeah.
One's enough.
How many lives, Admiral?
Yeah, actually.
How many unnamed aliens does it take before it becomes wrong? So he does kind of explain it here. Like, it would put me out of business, but yeah, he's just short-sighted.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the point of a species who dumps their waste so they can continue to keep a clean
complaining
society.
about the stupidity of these people is like, it's the point.
You ever see
Like
those infographics where they show like which countries have dumped the most waste, but then they never tell you that the U.S. exports their waste to those countries?
It's like our recycling. We've done like 90% recycling. Is it? Yeah, we recycled it to another country.
Yeah. Everybody gets something.
Mm.
She had the argument in mess hall, and now some tech stuff. Kim got clarinet and holodeck. Chakotay's just kind of there a lot.
I mean, that's kind of his raison d'etre, isn't it?
Please invest in our timeshare.
Please invest in our catalytic converters.
Yes.
When the Maquis couple gives you a look from across the warp core. Dude, look at them. They are tight in a lot of these shots.
Yeah.
Sorry, bitch. That's a Harry Mudd-sized belt.
It is actually, yeah. That's a cut. That's a jib with cut.
Harry Malon.
You don't have to be a bitch about it. I like the fire.
Nothing kind of infuriates Balana than people being offered a good engineering solution and not taking it.
Spend all night on that
Chakotay is
PowerPoint.
good here. Chakotay is good too with the diplomacy. What matters is we're talking now. That belt.
This is where you need a Ferengi on the ship and go, ha ha ha, but.
Yeah.
Recognizing this technology, you could make millions.
Yeah, they're like the serious Ferengi, basically.
Yeah, basically. He's a much better. Yeah, they actually are. They're a much better take on it.
They are threatening.
Yeah. Well, it's also a case of like, you know, those conspiracies overtired about like people who allegedly create clean energy, and then they get got by the people who own that technology.
Sure.
You know, like I could see that being a concern, but I feel like this episode predates those conspiracies a little bit. Otherwise, they would have been part of it. Like this episode actually aged better than it kind of aired. I think.
I love the pads splayed on her desk. These laptops have aged so badly.
Shitty little netbooks.
I'd like just out of the blue, if we watch one of these episodes that like Chakotay just pulls out a mobile phone from his back pocket and just like, hang on, let me just get this. It's like, hang on, wait, what?
I mean, they were doing that in the 60s.
Pulls out a Razor flip phone.
You camper.
Oh, camper. Barely touched her.
No.
You're fine, I guess.
That's what you meant. You're fine for a first officer.
And Chakotay's just got like the Kill Bill sirens going off right now, like
The rear of Voyager says pussy wagon on
it. Let's be realistic. It's the Defiant. The Defiant has pussy wagon on the back of
it. Actually, I can see the Delta Flyer. That's one of Tom's modifications.
No, that fits Tom a bit more as well. Balana's just lying down going, move your toe, move your toe.
It's a good scene. And they set it up earlier by everyone wanting to see her. Doc.
Of the heart. And I have a little faith.
You have no power here.
I am Janeway the White.
Punch her. And then Harry does. He takes the helm. He's the little weasel.
Mm.
He was promised a promotion if he's stuck with Janeway.
I don't
want to see him do the goofy salute.
Just takes everyone out. Emergency command hologram powers up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the death penalty, huh? In the Federation.
Boy, Overtired's really stuck on this Malon thread here.
Overtired is too optimistic about what people are like. People are selfish and short-sighted, like Overtired. I'm sorry.
7. You told them. They knew coming in. Biden first. Heroic music.
Yeah.
A proud little smile.
And now, word from our sponsors.
What a competent episode. I know we've been watching Andromeda, but like everything is so friggin' professional in this episode.
Yeah. You talked about it. It's like the advantage of doing a formula for like 9 years is that you know how to do it well.
Okay, that part bugged me. They spray random spots on the hull. You're supposed to focus your fire, guys.
She's not Picard.
I like that. They didn't need to give her C on the other side. They gave her something.
Okay.
And once again, everyone has their roles.
Yeah. Man, Voyager's
good
such a
group
chunky
effort,
ship.
ensemble effort.
It's supposed to
Really,
be
you think
sleek,
so?
but it's really it's a bit of a chonker.
There you go. Yeah, it's good fun.
47.
47, nice. Yep.
We've lost our flappy ability.
The nacelles can't widget.
We still go to warp, but we won't look as cool.
Got a case of the droopy nacelles.
A little bit of smoke in the air behind 7. This is cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I love it. Dude, the plot threads just keep it's like braiding dough, you know, they just keep weaving in thread. Time to take out the garbage. Dude, they gave her the Kevin Sorbo line.
Kablamo, man.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Torpedoes away.
Kablamo.
It's the Nexus.
Shit's about to get real.
And it's real.
It's real.
Oh, when the lights start flashing, then you know it's serious.
Oh no, how awful. Yeah, I'll give you time to fix up.
All right, here comes the B Squad.
Yeah.
I do kind of like it. Like Doc doesn't need to be there, but it's the family of Voyager.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I kind of hate that line because Doc is immediately proven wrong.
I mean, oh, there you go. Now you see something. So,
although this shot seems a little odd, like
it's ridiculous that there's that much like anomalies in one place.
Yeah, it's insane. I think they mentioned that in Memory Alpha. They just kept layering more and more shit, and they're like, "Hey, it works." I'm like, "Oh,
this is the part that the DM played on." Yeah.
There was the chord resolution of the episode there.
Oh God, we're never getting home.
Another good tight shot. Another good tight shot. Seven's like, "What are you doing over here? Go back to your station."
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
the Pillars of
what
Eternity.
space looks
No, that's
like.
the Pillars of Creation, isn't it? Awesome.
It's something.
Like they were going through the part of like the map that the DM hadn't designed, and now that's the part that the DM has like story threads for.
Okay, thank you, Jim Mees.
Let's end this.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, bum.
Welcome to Bom 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 Bom. No, welcome to Star Trek, our ongoing journey through the episodes of Star Trek, and we are beginning our summer of Voyager, whichever month this is. But we're going to be running through the entirety of Voyager season 5 because it's just banger after banger. We've started off.
You guys are in for a treat.
Seriously, this as I've said previously, my knowledge of Voyager is quite low. I think I've watched everything at least once, and it was a long time ago, probably when it aired. So this is nice to kind of have an excuse to kind of go back to these episodes. And we've just finished watching Night, and do you know what? I do have a problem. I have the problem with these good episodes is that I don't know what to talk about. I just want to kind of that was great. Can we watch some more, please? Please, sir.
Yeah.
I'd like some more of this good shit.
We have a court-mandated 1 hour we have to ramble about before we get to enjoy another episode.
Yeah. All right. How about... All right, go on. You start.
I know where to start. Actually, I have two. I have a choose-your-own-adventure starts, but I'll go with the more freeform one. Stars, you mentioned before we started, this would be in your top 10 of episodes to show someone for the concept of Voyager, and I thought, that's kind of weird. Like, this is not they're not really all that heroic and everything. They don't show a lot of Starfleet. But by the end of this, I'm like, there's not a single damn thing they could have done that would have added an element they didn't already have. They had a new alien, 2 new aliens, cool designs, cool starships, cool starship battles. They lit everything differently. They had multiple styles of humor, from the dry deadpan of Doc and Tuvok to Captain Proton. They had a holodeck episode. They had people boarding the ship and phaser fights. There's every single Star Trek trope for good and for bad, or mostly for good. They shoved into this 45 minutes, and it was delightful.
Yeah, no, I always forget that Captain Proton debuted here, in the same episode as
the
Malon, which is just.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I double checked it. It's this is the very first time it was going to be in there, and it's just I always think of Captain Proton as just such a part of Voyager. It's no, it's only the last 2 seasons, and it was fairly it appears in 10 different episodes in various different capacities. But it's I love it so much that I consider it to be part of the fabric of the show. And it's just what a good opener for it as well, and a good way to slowly ease yourself into the concept. But yeah, no, I definitely think that if you want a cross section of what 90s era Trek is like, and its strengths, and maybe a tiny bit of its weaknesses, this is a very, very good example. It's a perfect vertical slice, as it were, of
it's very ensemble too. Everybody helped to figure out the solution together, and they all relied on each other. Neelix was hanging on Chakotay's shoulder. You had Seven and Paris figuring that out in the holodeck.
You
Janeway
do kind
says,
of get the little
I don't
bit
trust
of...
anyone more Chakotay, and he has to pull her out of her funk. Everybody is helping everybody else.
You do. Just going back to that thought you were saying about this being someone's first Voyager episode. You do kind of get a little bit of facet of every single character. You get B'Elanna's anger and fieriness. You get her and Tom's relationship. You get Harry's sort of sentimentality with his music. You get Tuvok's Vulcanness, essentially, and Neelix's Neelixness, in this. You kind of do get a little bit of every character. In Seven as well, Seven's very much like, have you tried meditation? No. Have you tried a Borg cortical implant? It's good for the soul.
Chance is irrelevant. We will succeed. That was so good. Oh, and then when Satan's robot attacks her, she goes, "I am Borg," and she just pulls it out and the little arms flap over.
Yeah.
And it's like, guess what? It's also a case of if you watch this episode, you get a distorted idea of just how much Chakotay gets to do in this series. But
he was in almost every scene, and he was
he
good
did
in
a
a couple
lot,
of them,
actually.
but they
Yeah.
This is what he should have been for the entire series.
It's almost like you can write him to be a competent, good first officer if you try really hard.
All right, well, let's break that down then, because I have actually been bashing him a bit lately. He was a good diplomat when they're in engineering. He says, what matters is we're talking now. You can turn this to your advantage. He's trying to sell the guy. He's a good first officer. He calls Janeway out on her bullshit. She later leans on him. He strikes a bit of a heroic pose when he's helping Neelix through his fear and fighting the alien. And then
command med
on the bridge. He gets Tuvok ready on the bridge. Tuvok and everyone else to don't trust Catherine and her bullshit. She's going to try to kill herself again. So he was good all around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it literally is like every single character just gets a little moment to shine, even if it's just a small thing. And it's just like it also really leans heavily into Voyager's strengths, which I always thought that Voyager had really, really good, strong creature design. And it played around with space in a ways that I think TNG sometimes was maybe a little bit afraid of doing. Like, I don't think TNG kind of would have done something a little bit as oblique as this. Because it played space a bit more conventionally, I think. Whereas Voyager has this, it has the other episode, which is called The Void. Has like the whole photonic aliens with the whole Brida Chaotica. Like, it was more willing to just go, this part of space is just fucked, and just weird, and make that the episode, which I kind of appreciated.
Are you playing with your Stream Deck idol?
No, I'm playing with my cup. Actually, sorry.
Okay.
I realized how
you're in the
that
same
looked.
position. I think like you're about to throw us to a segment or something.
No, sorry. No, that's if I do that.
You're stressing me out.
I love the idea of the Void in this. I love the idea that this is the first episode, because I said it while we're watching along. Very often, especially in this era of Trek, everything's a two-parter. Like, everything comes, like, every season finale has a follow-up, or is it part 1, part 2, or DS9's like, oh yeah, this directly follows up from the previous episode. This is like gone from Hope and Fear, which was the season 4 finale, which was the Dauntless one, where it's sort of like Janeway and Seven.
That's a good episode.
That's a really good episode. Straight into this, and like I enjoy it. And this is straight in. Shit's fucked. We're in the middle of the Delta Quadrant. We're lost. We know our way home. Everything's black. We're all hopeless. We're despairing. And in the background, Ronald D. Moore's like, "Can we do this the entire series, please? If not, I'm just going to go over and get the Battlestar Galactica rights." Lo and behold, he did.
Yeah, Overtime also points out, the Void is especially a good way of exemplifying what Voyager is all about, because, if you did this in TNG or in DS9, you can just go back to the Federation, and the Voyager just does not have that option. Yeah. You can more uniquely force people into situations that they just have to deal with.
It is, it would be very depressing for the viewers as well if we just saw nothing but blackness. But, it's a shame this only lasted for the one episode. This could have been like a 3 or 4 episode arc, maybe. That would have maybe got it a bit more attention.
Would have been interesting.
Yeah.
So, there's another one, I forget the name of it, where they get sucked into an anomaly. It's a one-way anomaly, and they find other ships there have been sucked in. I think it's like...
It's literally called The Void.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is that the one then?
Also,
I often get this one and that one I often get this one and that one confused, because they literally call it The Void in this episode.
Yeah. It's a similar. Actually, they do that with our next episode, where they call Drone, but the drone is called One, but they already had an episode called One, so they couldn't call it One.
Yeah, but they do that a lot in Voyager. It's very.
But
silly,
never mind the episode called First Contact, which has Jonathan Frakes in it as a main character, but is not related to First Contact, which was directed by Jonathan Frakes and is also the main character. Can't confuse our audience at all.
Such an incestuous franchise. I can't believe they do this over and over. I have a lot of topics. So
Can I just interject? But shall we go with this was directed by the one and only David Livingston, who has directed like so much Star Trek and is usually excellent in everything. This was written by Brandon Braga and Joe Manowski, who we've previously covered on a previous episode fairly recently. Did the Nth Degree, Darmok, Time's Arrow, Future's End, Scorpion, Year of Hell.
He did our last episode, Latent Image,
and Lethe with Ted from Discovery with Ted Sullivan. So yeah, this is some good.
These are good, right? These are good episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you've fallen for one of my segue traps. I want to talk about Joe Manowski because I don't think we've done it before. He is a good writer. 57 writing or teleplay credits in Star Trek. One of them in Discovery. And they, so he did Latent Image. He was in a bunch of season 5 episodes. Night Drone, we're doing both those today. Latent Image, Timeless, 2 fucking bangers. The Fight, which is not great. Dark Frontier. 1159 and the Equinox 2-parter all in one season. So he was really involved.
I'm going to be controversial and say I actually really like 1159.
So do I. I'm going to go to bat for it when we watch.
Yeah, I will as well. I think it's just very unique, and I'm more willing to get. I feel like it's just it does a lot of what Carbon Creek does, but it does it in a very different way. I appreciate it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah. But yeah, it's like you're saying all these things, like, all these episodes. Like, there's such a good, strong character writing in all of these pieces. Like Lethe, his Discovery episode is one of my favorite Burnham episodes, and also because it focuses so heavily on her relationship with Sarek and just really drilling down into the relationships between characters and what makes certain character combinations work. And you can kind of see that here, where we were bringing it up during the watch on. There's a lot of unconventional pairings that you get here, like the Chakotay and Neelix stuff, and Chakotay and Tuvok as well, where it's these are not relationships that get pilled on very often. But when you do, there's material here, and obviously the actors are perfectly capable of selling it when they get the chance. But there's lots of really good character writing.
He also did the teleplay for Darmok, which no explanation needed. But he had a set of interesting episodes that he did the teleplay on. Blink of an Eye, Living Witness, Clues, all episodes where you kind of have to bounce around structurally, story-wise. There's a time element. And if I did the teleplay for Clues, that would be the top of my CV, because that is a masterpiece in terms of it's very like cause and effect, where you have to reshoot the same scenes over and over, but make them feel different. You have to make it all make sense without confusing the viewer about doing time jumps. That is more difficult than it sounds. So great job on the teleplays. He also did a billion 2-parters: Time's Arrow, Future's End, Scorpion, Year of Hell, Killing Game, Equinox, and Unimatrix Zero. So I feel like when Trek needed a 2-parter, they called Joe Manowski and said, "What do you got cooking?" So
Davidians.
Very good. And my last note on Manowski, which was my favorite memory alpha poll when prepping for today, he wrote an Orville episode in season 2. Sanctuary, directed by Jonathan Frakes, starring Marina Sirtis, F. Murray Abraham, Tony Todd, and Ron Canada. So it was basically it was a full-on Star Trek episode. I watched it this morning. It was good. It was about gender rights, and it was worth a watch.
Yeah, is that kind of a Bortus episode, if I remember rightly?
Yeah, the Moclan females are outcast because they're seen as lesser, and there's an underground railroad of women going to freedom. So it is worth a watch. Yeah. Cool. So that's what I think about Joe Manowski. He's very good.
He's A-okay.
And you know what? I want to go to bat here, because I feel like Brandon Braga kind of got dragged through the mud a little bit, because I feel like he got his the first credit I remember his name on is Timescape from TNG, and then he did a ton of I love Timescape actually. I really enjoy it. He did a ton of Voyager episodes, and then he obviously became one of the showrunners on Enterprise. And I feel like working on Enterprise and doing a lot of stinkers there really dampened his shine. And it's he does have some very obvious tells as a writer. And he does have his weaknesses, but I feel like he has a lot of strengths as well, which is just he likes playing around with sci-fi conceits.
It's when you see Berman and
Timescape.
When you got the combination of Berman and Braga, that's where it's
yeah.
I think 2 things hurt him actually more than that. Yes, the Rick Berman Association, and the fact that he dated 7 of 9. A, because there's a bit of a power dynamic. Dated Jerry Ryan. He wasn't in the show. A, because there's a bit of a power dynamic. B, because Star Trek nerds would rather she be single so that they think they have a shot with her at some point. Let's just be honest here. Like, if they see a guy dating someone that they really like, they're gonna not like him instinctually. So, but yeah, he was on Shuttle Pod Show, I think, last year. I've seen a few interviews of him. He's obviously intelligent, right? He's written great episodes, but you can tell he loves not just Star Trek, but the genre. Like, he's very passionate about writing quality shows, not just churning them out, which he was forced to do. You know, Berman Air Trek, what is it, 26 episodes a season. This was filming, by the way, or airing concurrently with Deep Space Nine. Like, imagine sitting down watching 2 hour-long shows week after week after week. So they had a lot to work on. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a case of like any writer, if you force them to stretch out their gimmick for like entire seasons, will eventually expose their writers. Yeah, like Overtime says that you have to crank out so much. Like Stephen Moffat on like Doctor Who, like if you give him one episode a season, he will he will create like the single best like episode of the season, like often. But if you make him write entire seasons, it becomes fucking nonsense. And it's like you need moderation, you need people to bounce off of, you need good writing partners who can compensate for your strengths, and you need the ability to take a breath and let your brain recharge. Because like sci-fi, there's a million concepts out there, but like there's only so many times you can approach it with a fresh angle before you just go, it's another anomaly, which I feel like he kind of got accused of when Enterprise started like churning out those kind of episodes in season 1 and 2.
Actually, I think Enterprise is mostly quality. I think when they try to retcon stuff is where they get into the troubled waters. Because like that Borg episode was so garbage that when I think about bad Enterprise, there are certain things that jump to mind. But even Mr. Monosky, who we heaped praise on, did Time's Orphan with grown-up Molly, Darkling, which I personally hate. The Fight, which everyone has rated in like their bottom 5 overall episodes. So when you have 50 plus credits, you're going to have some stinkers. And same with Brennan.
Yeah, I feel like with Braga, like he is at least very self-effacing, and he's very just like, yeah, no, I fucked up. That wasn't a great script. Like that work wasn't my best. And it's like you kind of got to give as I've grown older and like I've gotten more into like the art of writing. Like, this is something I really appreciate about Stephen King. Like if you go back and read like the foreword of like The Shining, like newer editions of it, he's like, yeah, I wrote most of this while I was coked out of my brain on Quaaludes and like drinking tons of whiskey. I was in a very bad place. That's why there's the whole massive interludes about the weird like hedge animals. It's like, guess what? Like if you can just be like self-aware about your weaknesses, I feel like that ages you a lot better. Like you come out of it a lot with a better reputation. But unlike someone like Rick Berman, who just constantly doubles down on his bad decisions and tries to act like he didn't do the shit he did. You know.
Let's talk about the Malon. Because I found them there's the first introduction to the Malon race. I think we're going to see them again at some point.
Yes.
I don't know if this season or
fairly soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's this season. I think it's next season. But it's the episode where they race to make the Delta Flyer and retrieve a probe.
That's right, yes.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I found the Malon as... I mean, we got a lot of concept for this race just in this one caricature, because we essentially had the Quark, the Odo, the Worf, this one Malon representative being the entirety of his species, kind of showing us his little bit of... I think it was you auto commented that like he's like the Ferengi, but serious mode.
Done competently, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of like
the sinister version.
Hey, capitalism, this is what we're about. We're just going to dump in your ecological zone and screw the consequences. These fish keep biting me. Oh no!
How dare they? They're the problem.
They do paint them more sympathetically in the future because there's an episode. Is it Juggernaut? It may be later in this season.
Juggernaut's fucking good episode. That's a good one.
But yeah, they play them more sympathetic because they are the victims. Well, the people hauling garbage they paint more sympathetic because they say we all know we're going to die. It's a terminal job, but we get paid enough to provide for our family. That's why we're doing it. And who you really hate after watching that episode are
society.
The fat cat bureaucrats back on the Malon homeworld who are profiting massively off these people's shortened lives. And it adds that great depth of stinky, gross twinge to that society, which parallels our own very well. And you feel empathy, you feel irritation, you feel hatred, and they really do broaden them out in only like 3 episodes, I think they get.
Yeah, no, like for a series, a species that doesn't get a ton of play, like they leave an impression on the mind because they are just very competently and relatively subtly done. I would say, like all that's as far as I know, you never really see their homeworld. Like it's always just the garbage menu. See, like
Malon
imagine
Prime, it's called.
Yeah, Malon Prime. Like imagine if the only Americans you ever met were postmen or something like that. You would have such a weird slanted view of that society,
Imagine
and you
we
kind of have
called
to
our
wonder
planet-
what is Malon's.
Imagine if we called our planet Human Prime. Sorry, carry on.
That's a bad name. Go away. That's a bad name. And it's like, yeah, you get to straddle that line of sympathy, but also just like, one of you is Overtime was kind of like going over the fact that this guy's dumb. He's a fucking idiot. Yes, that's the point. Like he's short-sighted. He doesn't.
Yeah.
And then he's conspiratorial. He's mistrustful. He's the kind of person who is willing to massively shorten his own life so that his family will get a better life out of it. And that is a very certain kind of mindset and tells you something about the kind of person he is, both good and bad. And it's like that's a really interesting cross-section of a society.
He's short-sighted, but again, this is a good mirror because it forces us to examine our own society. Is he short-sighted, or is he savvy enough to know that even with technology in hand, he would never be accepted back home because too many people are making too much money off this. They are not going green energy as long as people are making fat stacks of cash. So maybe he's short-sighted. Maybe he's in the know. He's been doing this long enough that he knows it would never work.
Yeah, maybe he's just cynical and pessimistic. Maybe he's a realist because guess what?
We just don't have an answer, and that's good.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah. Okay.
All right. But no, it's like if you wanted a more direct like through line that's a bit more sort of like, I suppose like makes more of an impression. Imagine you have the solution to world peace in your hand, and then you go to the United Nations and you announce it. How happy do you think every person and CEO who works at a weapons industry is going to be about your solution for world peace? Would you survive? These are people whose entire industry is literally built around death. Do you really think they're going to be receptive to it?
It happens now.
Yeah, makes you question. Yeah.
Everything from taxes to the oil lobbyists, like everything that is bad in this world, somebody is lobbying for it in your government because it's making them money. And that's just, that's how it works. And no one wants to talk about that in the utopiast, idealist Star Trek. But every once in a while, it's good to sprinkle in those dark flecks.
It makes you think. Like, it's good sci-fi.
He's saying that world
Am I saying world peace is too dangerous? To the weapons industry, yes, oddly enough.
With that talk,
let's
you're about to find out.
Let's circle back around to Janeway because I think there's more to unpack there in her storyline.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep this brief. There's a few people weighed in on this in memory of. Brandon Braga contemplated Janeway's predicament. If you think about it, since the show's inception, she's always been on the run, always been moving, always moving forward, no time to think about the consequences of her decision. Suddenly, when you hit 2 years of nothing, there's nothing to do but look back and face the demons of your decision. The writer said this, writer Joe Manowski, I don't think it was really sold. If you're going to have a big crisis like that, you can't do it in the course of a single episode, wrap it up at the end, and make it believable. It was the wrong way to go, and it didn't come off particularly well. No excuses. It was just a lot of pieces of different story elements. Janeway's actress, Kate Mulgrew, said, Janeway's heroism is now so well established that I'm always asking them to, rock the boat a little bit. It seems that when we do that, though, it's controversial. Night got really mixed reviews because people get uncomfortable watching a captain's depression, but I thought it was just such a wonderful thing to explore.
And she's right. This was something really good to go into because, again, like TV at the time was very much let's wrap it up and move on to next week. There was addressing things like mental health and, the reason she's avoiding command because of some sort of past mistake was something that wasn't... Well, Picard covered it a little bit, but not to this kind of extent. And it wouldn't really be developed into more like serious TV shows until like the late 2000s, when people would address this kind of stuff.
If you think about it, like both Picard and Sisko have like elements of their character that crop up every now and then. Like Picard obviously has all the Borg trauma, and Sisko has more Borg trauma and the other stuff with like his wife, which comes up every now and then, and like. I don't know. I feel like there's more opposition. Like I don't remember any opposition to Picard dealing with his trauma in that way, or like the family. And I feel like Sisko is literally. And Sisko's reaction.
Sorry.
It's gonna be a good when we get to that. And Cisco's like whole thing with dealing with like becoming like opening himself up to being a father and like and also to being a potentially a dating partner for Cassidy. It's like there's no pushback on that, but the instant Janeway feels guilt about a decision that people have criticized her for, like in the fandom as well. Like I feel like the pushback of like, yeah, it was the obviously heroic thing to do, but oh, what a dumb decision, you doomed yourself. And it's like she's allowed to feel complicated emotions about it and beat yourself up about it. You can make the right decision and still feel like you lost. Like that's a perfectly valid emotional dimension. And
is it possible
like,
to do everything right and still lose?
Yes, it actually is. In a way.
This episode probably should have been a two-parter because between interesting concepts and stories that needed expanding, I think it calls for it. I said when we were watching that I actually didn't like that part about it. It's hard to put into words. I feel like I probably side with the Balanas of the world, where yes, I understand why she's going through that. If I was in her position, I'd absolutely be going through the same thing. But she has a ship to run, and when her people need her the most, she's sulking in her room. And like I said, I completely understand it on a head level, but in my heart, I would be bothered if I were Chakotay holding things together for her. Part of me would resent that. Part of me would be like, I'm glad I can help her through this tough time. It really is a sticky wicket, and you see that it's good in the briefing room scene where everybody has something to say about that. They're like, where is she? We've been in here for months now, or weeks, whatever it was. Even Chakotay snaps with a bit of good acting, where he's like, she can run the ship from wherever the hell she wants, understood? And everyone's like, okay, calm down, Chakotay. Yeah. So they sell that strain of the Void right from the jump.
Yeah, and not only is it a good scene for Chakotay, but it also speaks to because he's a supporting Janeway, but you can tell it's having a toll on him as well. Like he's the first officer, but he's having to act as captain for 2 months now. Because we didn't obviously get a time frame on exactly when Janeway decided to just hole herself up in her quarters, but you have to assume it's been a while.
The lights went out. Right, I'm done. I am done.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, all right, I'm out of here.
I have this much trauma to work through. I'm starting right now.
No stars, no me.
If there ain't shit out there to distract me from my own bad decisions, I'm not interested. Yeah. But I kind of like that it's complicated and complex and that there's like messy emotions about that because that's very realistic. And it's like the idea that there's pushback on that, like against the idea that captains can be multifaceted, nuanced, like captains who can hold multiple emotional viewpoints at one point and be, quote unquote, bad people in the way that they react to things. That's good.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's poor writing. Like I say, on a conscious level, you understand it. But I also I side with the crew because they need that the most right now. And filling the void, we have a combination of fucking Chakotay and Neelix, which, if you want to be stuck in a starless void for however many months, are those the two you want guiding you through it? Probably not. Although I do like both of them, but.
It is one of those funny things where it's like you look at like the command crew of Voyager, and it's a lot of very like staid people who are not very explosive personalities. Like you think of the TNG crew, you've got like Riker, who is like this big bombastic like personality. You've got Troy, who's very empathetic. You've got Worf, who is reserved, but he has like Klingon bombacity at times. You've got Data.
You have to get down to Data before you match Tuvok and Seven.
Data is still over the top in his way. Meanwhile on Voyager, you've got Chakotay, who is like by definition just very stoic. He doesn't like emote too much. And it's partly an acting thing, but it's also because that's how he's written. He's a reliable writer. He's a reliable character who does not get shaken by much. And then you've got Tuvok, who is a Vulcan. You've got 7 of 9, who is a ex-Borg. You've got Harry. Harry, I guess, and like B'Elanna are the two most expressive, and Paris, and they're all on the very like lower end of the command chain. So it's like when you lose Janeway, who is like the most charismatic of the top half of the command crew, there is a void being left there.
Janeway is very clearly the glue. But then behind her is Tuvok is her glue. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's glue all the way down. I did have another big section I wanted to talk about, but I realized we've been going on for a while, and Idol's disassociating. So
I'm
need to move on.
I'm in sleepy mode.
It's
tonight.
a great episode.
It is a really.
I promise you guys, season 7 is going to be a ride.
Season 7.
5. Sorry.
In which case, it's time to go over to. Oh, come on! Oh, there.
Bread.
The button was bread. Bread, gentlemen. What is your bread for the episode? I have one in my head. I'd like to steal, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Okay, my bread of the episode is where all the lights went off on the ship. Everything just went completely pitch black. And like you said, what we were saying when we were watching along, you don't ever see things go that black, where buttons don't even respond. And it did address the holodeck's still running, but the lights are off on the holodeck. And it's like, it has its own power source, but still the lights went out. It's like, even the holodeck's like, no, I've got to keep it cool. I've got to be like everyone else on the deck. I've got to be like all the other decks. But no, I did really like that moment, and leads to another, another moment of Neelix having his panic attack, which is something I've done in my life. I've had plenty of panic attacks, and definitely felt that in myself with that moment, just being like, you're already in the pitch black of space on this bucket of metal flying through a vacuum, and then all of a sudden the lights go out and you've got no light. Like, that's...
All right, Bones, calm it down.
Yeah. Mind if I throw up on you? No. That's my bread. How about you, Otto? What's your bread?
Did the holodeck need to stay on? Did that add anything to that scene? I don't think it did. If it was just like the cube there, and then they still turn around and the little alien there for the jump scare.
But the ray gun was fun. I like the ray gun.
I think the holodeck set wasn't there, so they just stayed on the power. They just turned the lights off of the Proton and just went, oh yeah, it's got its own independent power supply. We're going to support this through all the complaints of Picard season 3.
My bread is the battle with the Malon at the end. They slowly drift into frame. They're blocking the entrance. We get the cool spatial charges. We said 100 times in the watch along how expertly they lit the exterior. No stars, no stellar body until the last 5 seconds. Everything's got to be done with running lights or explosions, basically. They even rigged a little photon flare. They did everything they could. They probably had a big whiteboard with how can we light the outside of the ship? So that was cool. The fact that the aliens charged to the rescue after they made a diplomatic. This is kind of wide for Bez. It's the stump. It's a large piece of bread, but it's that battle because it's well lit, well executed. It's an emotional climax. It's everything you want. It did leave me wanting at some point. I want to see a ship reinforce their shields and go to warp through a ship and blow it up as they fly through it. That I think
need to watch.
That's The Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. That does actually happen.
Well, that's not real sci-fi. So the Malon fight would be my bread. I like that.
Stars.
For me, it probably would be just the makeup. Actually, the Malon are such a good design because they don't overplay it here. I thought there's a good amount of restraint on seeing just a standard Malon with the little bits of radiation starting to show. The diving bell-esque outfit, which we kind of picked on a few times, which was a little bit more Bioshocky. Just a very unique aesthetic for a sci-fi race.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea next door.
Well, guess what? The amount of aquapunk that goes into sci-fi. And then on the Void aliens, I really liked the way that they just look very, very alien and very, very weird. They looked like it was designed explicitly just to show up well in the dark, which good design.
Kind of reminded me of Geordie LaForge in that episode where he turns into a different being. Kind of
a weird strobing alien, yeah.
Oh, please.
Yeah. And it's I also appreciate this is something that I've come to kind of appreciate after Discovery Season 1. It's just the prosthetics that do not obscure the ability for an actor to emote and act, because the one Void alien we get, he gives a good performance. It is solid, it is not obscured by a fairly heavy makeup job. And that's a fine line to do. When you want to make something convincingly alien, but you don't want to get in the way of the performance. So that'd be my bread.
So this has me thinking, Voyager does certain aliens really well. You have the Malon, you have the Phage, but when we get to the Kazon, I think their design is fine, but I think what they're missing is some other identifying characteristic. The Phage have the organ, the whole organ thing. Malon had the radiation, what it's doing to their bodies and their society. What do the Kazon have besides they're primitive, but they have this giant super ship which overpowers Voyager.
The Kazons.
They have, I feel like they have the makeup, but they don't have the other aspect to their society that would elevate them into like they're just infighting all the time. That's not really a bold characteristic.
Well, there's a lot of problems with the Kazon.
Yeah. That's why they got left behind. All right, let's go.
Even Martha Hackett couldn't save them. So.
True, yeah.
Let's go on to our press the right button.
The best advice I can give you is to just be yourself.
You're the worst thing that ever happened to Zek. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Actually, that's the second best piece of advice.
In fact, you're the worst thing that ever happened to the entire Ferengi Alliance.
No.
I knew you'd do that joke.
Yeah, it's evergreen.
You sound like Cookie Monster. You
are Cookie. Stars, give me your best and worst moments from this episode.
So much to choose from in terms of the best. It's not like rating Andromeda.
Opposite problem.
You know what? I'm just gonna be a basic male image, and I'm gonna go. My best is Captain Proton. I love Captain Proton. Wow. I am a sucker for the 50s stuff. The fact that this is where they decide to introduce it in such an episode that has nothing to do with it, like just like naturally threading it in. It is probably my favorite of the holodeck conceits, like that runs through. Like you compare it to like the Sherlock Holmes stuff or the Gothic novels. I think this is easily the one I like the most. And like the fact that it allows you to play around with character dynamics. Like you get a bit more, like Harry gets more to do and a bit more to act in. Like it does, like being Buster Kincaid and getting to like over emote and like be a bit more goofy than he otherwise is on the bridge. Tom gets to goof around a little bit in a kind of charming way, and Seven gets in on it as well, which is always a fun little like when that comes back at the end with Captain Proton the rescue. Iron Borg dismantle Satan's robot. Just it's so much fun. Like it is not objectively the best part of the episode, but it's my favorite part of the episode, maybe. You want to say something? I can tell.
Yes. All right. I want to ask you, are you one of those guys who feels that heavy episodes like this need the comedic moments, or are you okay with 45 minutes of heavy?
It depends on how heavy you're getting. I feel like you could have done this without Captain Proton and it would have been fine. It would have been a little bit dour. But if you have like, say like a DS9 episode and you don't crack any jokes, like, you have to have a bit of levity. Like it depends on how heavy you're going.
There is, as much as I love like Battlestar Galactica is like one of my favorite TV series all time, like, other than Star Trek, obviously.
Just grim.
There is an episode literally where the worst thing ever happens, and the entire crew just go into full depression mode, and there is no levity, and it is a very you have to be in a right state of mind to even approach the episode. It is dark.
Yeah. And it's like that's where it's like a case of you have to, there's a balance to be struck and you can't go too far one or the other. I think that's adequately threaded the needle. The worst moment for me, what would it be? I'm really struggling here. There's not a lot in this episode that's bad. You know what? I'm going to go for some low-hanging fruit. The fact that like we started this series with the conceit of we only have so many like photon torpedoes. How many did we use in this episode? We used like 20. Like we used a lot of photon torpedoes.
We used one for about a 3-second flare to illuminate the outline of a ship. Like that's a great use of our photon.
Yeah, like you could have just set a phaser to wide beam. That probably would have had the same effect. But yeah, it's like that's we talk about the strengths of Voyager. That's one of the weaknesses of Voyager. Is it's like it attempts to set up a continuity thing that ended up going completely fucking nowhere, and this is one of the worst examples of that.
Go on, Otto. Best and worst.
Is it laziness? Because they built an entire shuttlecraft. Couldn't they have just thrown a line in some season 3 where they're like, well, we built a few more photons? I don't know. I had it and I lost it. This beer won't even tell me what percentage it is, so I blame the WeMac Sun King Brewery. Right. I had another one. Maybe it'll come to me. But one of my worst when Doc steps early on the holodeck, bad green screening. And this is an episode with a lot of really great effects, and we complimented them already. It just wasn't up to the task. Best moment, and this is kind of what would be my second, Brett. It sticks with me when I think about the episode from time to time.
We've had one.
The alien in. But what about second, Brett? When the alien is in sick bay, and Janeway's talking to it, she props him up, helps him call his ship. You feel a lot of sympathy for this alien, who's a good guy. Like they attack him or whatever, but they don't tug on that thread for long. It's clear there was a misunderstanding that's quickly resolved. Great first contact, will help you. You know, I need to let them know that you're a friend. I just liked that whole scene. And I felt something for an alien who we don't even get a name for. Like normally when you don't get a name, where you bash them on the review, we're like, they're so bad they didn't even get a name. That wasn't the case here. So that was maybe heartwarming is too strong, but I felt a lot of goodwill in that scene in the middle of kind of a despairing episode. So I liked that. It was an oasis.
I'll go with my worst moment. Which it's I'm being like Stars, I'm being needlessly picky, but I'm just gonna go for the fact the holodeck. Like, why did the lights turn off on the holodeck? I know it was there for dramatic effect, but it made no sense. If the holodeck's on or it's off, the holodeck isn't playing games, it's just going like, oh, the lights outside's off, I'm going to turn my light off on this program. Like, okay, that's probably my worst moment. It's just a little bit of continuity nudging. Best moment? There is a lot to pick from. I don't know. I kind of like the scene where Harry's on the bridge and he's playing his clarinet, and then Tuvok walks in, and instantly he's just like, no, chill, man. Like like you said, even Tuvok's got his hair down, and he's like,
his hair's never been more down.
No, yeah, it's like he's literally chill. He's thinking like, you know what, Harry? Yes, I'd love to listen to your clarinet solo, and it's just like, wow, this is.
Yeah, and then you cut back to it, and he's still listening to it.
He's jamming, he's nodding, he's tapping his
foot.
Dude,
if they cut back. He could be playing the jug. He could be playing anything, and it would have been hilarious. Like they missed a trick there.
Yeah, I quite like that. I like it when you see a little bit of levity between, especially on Tuvok as well, who is sort of often known to be more of a hard ass, especially like in the early seasons when in the Marquee crew and with like other characters that have a bit of Paris especially. But then like Kim's got his feet up playing his clarinet, and even Tuvok appreciates. Yeah, it's bleak at the moment. You carry on. Like, what can I do?
Yeah. The other big Tuvok moment is like perhaps they took cortical implants, like another time perhaps.
Yes.
Like
the view from my quarters has been less than stellar lately. He was full of good stuff. Since Overtired showed up on short notice, I'll also give the worst from an unnamed chat member who said, the fact that the Malon are so stupid they don't realize they could make more money by being like the innovator than. And we do, we're real good at explaining away Trek plot holes like, oh, well, maybe he knew it wouldn't be received, blah, blah, blah. But it does, on first blush, it does kind of clang against your brain that, like, why is he being so obstinate? So there's chat's worst moment.
Some people are just dicks. On that note...
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3.
That's much too low a rating.
It's much too low a rating.
Seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
Oh dear. Gentlemen, please get out your rating criterias, please. What are we... Oh, Stars. No, Stars, this is your job. What is our rating criteria?
I nominate that we officially change it to calling it the rating code instead of the rating criteria.
Okay, gentlemen, what is the rating code? What is our Schiller rating code for this episode?
Or you can call it Schiller rating. That's funny too.
All right. How many audience of one concertos of Echoes of the Void out of 10 would you like to give this episode?
That's a lot. Audience of one concertos, Echoes of the Void.
Is there a character limit in Sheets cells?
There is not. No. Well, I think it's something like 5 million, but audience of one concertos, Echoes of the Void.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Also.
Idle.
Oh, me. Okay. I can't think of a lot wrong with this episode, and I think the only thing I can think of... I had my complaint about the holodeck, but that's so minor. It's not like... That doesn't impact the story whatsoever. I feel that the fact that my only actual complaint would be I wish this was a two-parter only strengthens the episode to say that I want more of it. I'm actually going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is...
Wow.
Yeah, I have nothing bad to
Hard
say
to
about
improve.
it.
Yeah.
I don't. The flaws that I do have are not major flaws. They are Star Trek-y flaws. They are production flaws. It's not anything that's taken me out of the episode to kind of go like, I didn't have a great time here. And I think it's very successful at broadening the characterizations for every character, including Janeway, including Chakotay. We get some moments with Tuvok and Seven as well. How Seven's integrated onto the ship, minor characters. And it carries on a surprising amount of serialization for a show that is very episodic, and it's a great opener for an episode, and only, like we said before, it's a great episode to show someone as their first Voyager, because you get a little bit of everything in here. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Go on, Otto.
10 out of 10 what?
Oh, sorry, 10 out of 10 audience of one concertos of Echoes of the Void.
All right. I'll do that thing I like to do. This is a 9.9 audience of one Echo Concerto Void thingies. And I looked it up, and I thought, what did I get peak performance? Because it's kind of similar, where it has a little bit of everything, a lot of good team building, everybody contributes to the whole thing. And I gave that a 9.9, which may have been a touch strong, maybe not. And I couldn't give it lower than that, because this is such a stellar episode. But I've realized that I enjoy being emotionally devastated in my media. And this, while it had an emotional climax, it was not one that made you feel things. I feel like that's the element that really puts episodes over the top. So while this was extremely competent in every area of the game, like you said, they have the fucking formula on lock. They're professionals, and they produce professional quality sci-fi. It was just missing that little hook that made me like, oh, like I'm going to think about this for the next week. So 9.9, very happy to give it that strong. It is excellent episode.
Go on, Stars.
It starts.
There you go. Wait for my cue. I want my cue. I want my cue, goddammit.
Okay,
I've been here for years. I'm owed my cue. So I think I have to kind of agree with you, Otto. This is not a episode that has like a gigantic emotional hook to it. Oh, kitties. It's not The Visitor. It's not The Inner Light. This is not It's Only a Paper Moon. It doesn't devastate you.
It's not Drone.
Yeah, it's not Drone. And it's like, I can't blame it for doing that. You can't do that every week, because like that lessens the emotional impact. You also kind of get into like misery, trauma, that you need like levity, you need lightness, you need like a relatively normal day is important every now and then.
I need N+1 people to die in this episode, because last episode had N.
I think I figured, like, I love a good, like, emotionally or devastating episode. I figured my limit for that was when I started watching Squid Game, and I kind of got like about 5 or 6 episodes in, and I was just like, you know what, this is, I need some levity now. Like, I need something nice now, because this is just dreary.
I kind of had that with The Boys as well. Like, I watched that first episode, this is a perfectly good episode, I cannot keep with this. This will depress me. But it's like, as you say, it's just perfect. Like, this is exactly what this episode should be. There is not much you can do to improve this, not from a writing perspective, not from a cinematography perspective. Like, if you remastered it with, like, 2024, like, CGI, maybe you could do it slightly better. But even then, it's like, this is perfect for what it needs to be. Like, fix the CGI on Doc and the green screen. That's it. Like, what else is there really to fix? So for me, I would have to give this 9.5 single audience concertos of Echoes of the Void out of 10.
Well, that brings this episode to a stunning 9.8 on our review metric, and it sits as the number 4 in the top 10 of episodes we have reviewed.
Which it might end up being like 10th by the time we finish season 5. So
we'll
sitting equal with the magnificent Ferengi and just above Under the Cloak of War. So yeah, that's the caliber of episodes we're dealing with on here. Also, any final words? Because I feel like you've still got like an essay of things on this.
You know, sometimes we knock. Well, we always knock it for like they put someone in peril, but no one's going to die. This one cleverly sidesteps it, because it presents a new race essentially that can die, and then they make you feel for them. So someone might die. Maybe it's not the main cast, but as long as someone is in peril, I feel like that still gives you that taste of the element without shattering believability that no one's going to die. It's Star Trek, so I like that.
Awesome.
Like they could have just introduced the Malon to be the antagonists here, but they gave you a third party for a reason. So I like that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well constructed.
On that note, thank you guys. If you're on stream, stick about. We're going to be watching Drone, the second episode in our summer of Voyager. For everyone watching recording, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Live long and prosper, and ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra. Ta-ra there. Right, let's change some titles.
Ta-roo. Ta-ra. Ta-roo. Ta-ra.
A doe, a deer, a female deer. Right, okay.
I feel like we just did a 3-hour.
That was a long. We did some long stuff there. Right,
We were talking for a while there.
Hello, everybody. Right, let's do some Drone. I remember nothing about this episode. All I know is there is a Borg in it, and his name is One, and that's only because of timelines. Do I know that?
What you actually genuinely being?
I know. I don't. Like I say, Voyager is like a big black hole. I don't remember this episode at all. I don't know. Maybe I do. Feel it's appropriate. We should probably watch the trailer. Let me just find us.
Hey Otto. I was never meant to be.
Dude, this is weird because like this one is the one that devastates me the most, but I don't cry at it. Like I'm almost there, but it's so good. It is good.
All right, show me this trailer. We're gonna get some more club music. I'm optimistic.
Dude, they picked. Hold on, they picked a Nazi to be like the most sympathetic minor character in Voyager. Like, what a pull! That's great.
Gonna be on my notes
so
definitely later. All right, let's do it.
Prepare
Where did it come from?
for the birth
A 29th century Borg.
of a miracle.
It will fully mature in less than 2 hours.
Now, can 7 of 9
You're going to be the teacher.
protect a child
You are hurting me.
born of evil?
You contacted the collective.
Born of evil.
Resistance is futile. On the next Star Trek Voyager.
Star Trek Voyager.
7 of 9 week. Oh.
Oh wow! Isn't that every week?
Born of evil.
That was interesting.
That was hilarious because the first 10 seconds of that trailer sucked, and then it got really good really fast. So
Prepare for a miracle.
the birth of a miracle. I'm like, what?
Like,
hold on. Do we pre-rate the trailer, or do we pre-rate what we remember the episode
I
being?
think both.
I'm pre-rating what I remember the episode being.
Okay.
I've been kind of going impressions on the trailers, especially with these ones where I have no memory.
All right. As long as you clarify it ahead of the time.
Okay. I think I am taking the trailer into consideration a lot of the time.
Well, then tell us, Idle.
Okay,
What is?
okay.
Since you don't even remember the episode.
I don't. I feel like this reminds me of the Odo Jem'Hadar one. Like I get the feeling it's a bit like Seven's teaching, this young boy to come up and. Is this got something to do with Doc's Hollow program emitter as well?
Yes.
That's something part of it because obviously they said 29th century and that kind of clued me on that. So it's really good to have an episode I cannot remember that I know I've watched like in the past. So this is some new stuff from what you guys are talking as well because this is also influencing me. Hey, Polar Knights! Thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you very much. From what I remember,
by the way, we have something coming for subs that we recorded yesterday, and we'll be recording on a regular basis. So keep an eye out for that on our Discord.
Based on that, I'm probably going to pre-rate this a cautious 7. You guys have been talking it up a lot.
God, I'd love a pepperoni pizza with
I didn't even know that was in this.
The Chad move.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I'll go for a 7. Go on, what were you guys?
I'm going to jump in on this. I have very, very fond memories of this episode. It's been a little while since I've seen it, probably about a year or two. Most 7 of 9 episodes tend to be extremely good. Mostly because if you put the camera on Jerry Ryan for like most of the episode, it's just going to be well acted and also attractive. But it's also a case of I feel like the writers just had so much to explore with her.
Dude, I'm gay for Babs. You're straight for Jerry Ryan.
A little bit. It's hard to fault her. She is an LGBT icon. Like I can't really fault her.
Yeah.
I am probably going to rate this. I'm going to be cautious and say 8.5, but I'm probably going to upgrade that because like I feel like I'm going to give this like a 9 or a 9.5, especially with how much I enjoyed Night, and I think I remember this one being better. But I want to be cautious. I take pre-ratings very seriously.
I'm so glad we take it seriously.
Go on, Auto.
All right, no beating around the bush. I think I'm going to give this a 10 because it does have that big gut punch at the end that I love. And the rest of the components are just chef's kiss. So I think it's a 10.
Well, spool up your Paramount Pluses, your Blu-ray copies, your copy you got off a friend on a pen drive on the way past to work. We're going to be watching Voyager's Drone, Season 5, Episode 2.
Get your VHS, your Laserdisc, your Betamax, your...
Tune into Pluto TV at just the right time. Although we don't do
as people are loading that up, I looked up, I just searched J. Paul Bamer, who plays the drone on YouTube, and he was on some other Trek podcasts and it was so weird because he was a normal guy, and when you watch him on Star Trek, like when he plays when he plays a Nazi, he's very like fierce and like I don't know what the word for it is, but then he has this role, and he has like one other memorable role. Oh yeah, Mistral, where it's like he doesn't speak in the short clipped tone like he does in the show. He's just like a guy, so it was interesting.
Okay.
In my head, everybody is frozen in canon, like as the roles they play in the show. So.
Oh god, never meet Michael Dorn. Okay, let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Punch it.
Punch it. Oh hey, am I dreaming?
I think that's a nice establishing shot. The mirror.
Yeah, I love a good mirror shot. There's a degree of artistry to a mirror shot.
I never thought Jerry Ryan could do a freaky smile, but there it is.
And she's so disappointed with herself for not mastering it immediately.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm the only bald.
Annoyed. By the way, I have this one memorized. I'll try not to repeat the lines.
Say the line, Auto.
Here comes Doc. Oh, he saw what you were doing.
Smug motherfucker. Love him.
What are you doing here?
I'm having fun. How about you, Seven? Are you having fun?
Why are you?
Why are you the way you are? Ah, there's a whole imager. There you go.
Hope we get some Naomi.
Oh man, Robert Ricardo is just like he's such a fucking good.
I can't believe
man,
he's going to be
actually half as good.
I can't believe.
Yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Wow, it's wild.
Hey, Balana. Oh, are they building up to the Delta Flyer here a little bit? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I think that's the Malon episode. I think is this season.
Oof.
Want to be around when they open the airlock.
Oh yeah, there you go. Why not just codify what everyone's saying that we build new shuttles off screen clearly? My plasma is surging and Leon's getting larger.
I mean, why are they taking a shuttle and not like the entire starship?
I guess Voyager's like doing stuff.
Dude, Doc, he wants to take a picture.
Like I know you can.
It's my joie de vivre. It's overloading. Whose stupid idea was this?
Is this under warranty?
Definitely not. All those like Voyager shuttles are cheap knickknacks. They have no warranties.
It's not even if the ship is far away. They're right close. They're within impulse range.
Yeah.
Is that how nebulas form? They just Big Bang into existence?
kind of.
I mean, that's how like the universe formed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Rascals.
Initiate the 2-box filter.
Yes.
We should have gotten Rascals for Voyager.
That would have been great. Young, deathly serious 7 would have been great. I love that physicality of that every time they do him disappearing. Yeah, I like it.
Do you know, I know how many times they dropped it just to get the right bounce.
Broke a lot of props.
All right, calm down. Mulcahy? I love the way she says that.
Mulcahy?
Attend, engineering drone.
Mulcahy?
Technically speaking, it does have a case overtied that he puts it in every now and then in the med bay.
Okay, this is my bread. This shot is so cool.
It's
and
very
the way
iconic.
it pops out toward the camera here. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, very good.
They pull focus on it, and then they optical illusion you with the little
boom, 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 boom. Overtired, are you saying they should put like an Otterbox case on the emitter? We give it a glass screen protector.
Have you seen those things like they designed for cell phones where you drop them and then it pops out the little like airbag for it?
No, I've not seen those. That sounds ridiculous.
They see prototypes of that video every few years.
It's from the future.
Dude, if cell phones still break when they drop in how many years? 800 years? I'm going to be kind of disappointed.
I don't think that we've ever seen a tricorder break from being dropped.
No, but I think if in 800 years it won't be a case of breaking them. You'll just drop them, and as soon as it hits the ground, they've ordered you a new one. It just automatically buys one.
It transports in like in your hand.
Welcome to Indiscriminate Humming 101.
Listen, it's the karaoke section of the watch along.
Yeah, we can't keep talking about the titles every week. What's going on with my voice?
I don't know what is going on.
Not enough whiskey.
Need more Haribo.
Whiskey sours.
All right, let's get in there. Ooh, that's a good shot.
Yeah, why have they stopped?
So that's a screensaver right there. That's the desktop.
Yeah. Ah, my waistline.
Oh yeah, this fucking bit.
Dude, this is. Gets the cock. Clap, clap.
Fuck off, bro.
Is that like Starfleet issue, like sleepwear? Because Janeway wears the same kind of thing.
Probably.
I think it is probably, yeah.
It's in the pattern buffer. Dude, why is she not enraged at him right now?
She's too sleepy.
People
do not wake up angry.
I like her night mood lighting.
Klingons do. Oh, this is why it's a 10 out of 10. Now I remember. I'm sorry, is that too Andromeda of me? See? Now Kevin Sorbo would proudly display his goods to the little android data or doc. That's funny.
And guess what? It wasn't played for like your awfulness.
Yeah, I know. It's
Her Borg sensors are tingling.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, we acknowledge Doc is gross immediately and then move on. That's how you handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Captain Harry.
Not interested in small talk.
No.
He's so proud.
Yeah, no, like, bro, it's not that much of a flex.
Is it
Are
true
they?
they make you call you Captain? That's a good. I could see Riker delivering that line. Is it true they make you
Yeah,
call?
actually. Yeah.
It's because you're incompetent at your job, Harry.
This is why you'll never make lieutenant. A little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yeah, this is the second time we see a Borg sphere in Trekverse.
Hmm.
Hey.
Yeah, you could have promoted me. It's been 5
does have
years.
that-
Like, no.
He does have that
No.
Riker joviality in his leadership style, which I
He
like.
can be in that, yeah. He has that, and he has the Marquis way. He has both.
Look at him being completely unimpressed or
Yeah,
nonplussed.
no, just like not giving a single fuck. Like, bro, you're a member of Voyager. You know what this looks like.
I don't remember setting
Maybe
the lighting
hit
to
your
green.
comm badge and tell someone. He
What is
deserves to
this?
die.
Yeah.
Stick your finger in the socket.
Do it, Mr. CW.
Oh, that's
yeah, no, you
great.
deserve that. Yeah.
Oh, and then the cut to the head.
Yeah, that's pretty
jerk.
good.
Mm.
Reroute it back. Okay, solved.
Don't get to see very many science labs. How do you know he's there?
Well, it is a science ship, so
Yeah, but you don't get to see many like science labs by it being a science ship.
right. Well, budget.
Mm.
Hell, take
Stop
two
shooting
teams.
indiscriminately. Yeah.
Yeah. What else is going on? Take all the security there. Doc gets the prop.
Thank you for like the underline.
Oh, dude, I love the low
Crack
angle
squad.
to make him seem more.
Yeah.
Oh,
always.
Seven
Like
seamlessly
a-
weaves in there. They make a
Yes.
make a
So
gap.
good. Yeah, that's good shit. That's a well-oiled machine right there.
Mm-hmm. In the head, they're all counting 1, 2, 1, 2.
It's a good showcase of the phaser rifle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a hero shot of the rifle.
Mm. We found this dumb bitch.
Okay.
Meow.
Ow. That's the Borg, by the way. The Borg are meowing.
So shouldn't they suspect her at this point? Because there's been so many like alien inhabitation episodes. If it's her nanoprobe, shouldn't she be under watch?
I mean, like, she's also the only one giving them answers at this point.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Tuvok's done the same when he's been inhabited.
Hmm.
Uh-oh, I found a plot hole. It's not 10 anymore, guys.
Oh, dear. Yeah, no, plot holes is ruining.
I like the tactile response there.
Good prop work. It looks suitably menacing.
The baby.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe. Kind of looks like one of those holograms you get on like baseball cards.
There's Worf in the background. Terminate it now.
You know, we steal babies. We don't make them.
Yeah, we've already seen them mature babies in the
Yeah.
in the little pull-out
But this is a
drawer,
brand-
the proving
yeah.
drawer.
I think wasn't that like an already assimilated baby? I think this is like a fresh.
Well, best of
Yeah,
both
they
worlds,
don't
they
make
have the
new
babies,
ones.
don't they?
Well, I think the implication there is that they were stolen babies, like they were
Great
assimilated.
audio right here.
Hmm.
You're inside, and their voices are muffled. I love it.
Hmm.
I think Les Landau directed this one.
Hmm.
Okay.
Can't just do that for the rest of the episode, guys.
I don't think they mention him again, so.
Yeah.
So straight out the airlock, right?
I don't even know if that would kill it. I'm pro-choice.
My starship, my body.
I mean, yeah, actually.
Well, it's latent image. She's got to make the tough choice.
Hmm.
Even if it's not one that she necessarily wants to make. That's not great CGI.
Yeah, it's not awesome, but yeah.
It's not awful, but it's...
Yeah. That seems very low amount.
They're very chill about this.
Well, until Janeway decides, what else can they do?
Yeah.
I feel like B'Elanna's bob distracts me sometimes. when it flits, she turns her head and it flits about. Sorry, Doc.
Yeah, no, get fucked. Problematic child.
Good slow zoom, good reaction shots.
You know, what the fuck does that mean?
Who cares? It sounds scary. That's good technobabble.
Yeah.
The crew has been accusing me of killing too quickly. It's not looking good.
It says I kill new life indiscriminately.
Yes.
Dude, she jumps right into...
Yeah, she really wants the
Federation
blood of
mode.
this kid. Yeah.
Each more value, 7.
Could show my dogs.
I can
Assimilate
show
Molly.
photographs of Mark, who's surely waiting for me back on Earth. That's true. It does have the secondary, like, tactical advantage. If you can turn them, then that protects you. Is this Janeway's best hairstyle?
Yes. I think it suits her the best. I like the ponytail, alright, but I think this
The incredulity in her eyebrows.
Yeah.
Give it to Neelix.
He'd be assimilated for the end of the day. Man, can you even imagine what assimilated Neelix would be like? That's a Timeline's original for you.
No, he's like the
Back
Kazon.
away,
They don't
not
want
today.
him. I do love the refinement of the Borg design. It's such a good iteration of it.
He's like transforming the room. You see the green in the background.
Yeah.
Good sound design there. Oh, here comes the pops. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and like that full whoa.
Look at that cod piece. Holy cow.
Yeah, the dog's like, I think it's a male.
J. Paul is packing. Wow. Look how rigid and he is. I love it.
A lot of good body acting.
He's very good at that kind of role. But you may call me something.
If you're nasty.
Call me Miss Nine if you're nasty.
Yeah.
What do you think about that eyepiece?
I like it. It's recognizably Borg, but different. My mind to your mind. Let me just like put a bomb vest on you first.
My probes to your probes.
Yeah, actually.
Actually, I'm having flashbacks to when they beam Hugh into Picard's ready room, and he pretends to be Locutus so that he'll comply. Okay. Oh, nice. Dude, we get that split-second reaction shot of Jerry, like, tightening up. That was so good.
Yeah, that was going to work.
He's got to try. I'm surprised he doesn't, like, physically attack.
Yeah, that's so good.
He's like a big toddler, kind of.
Yeah. No, the immaturity is coming through very, very well.
Can we change the lighting back to normal, or will that bother the
No, it makes him more comfortable.
Yeah. I bet Dan has one of these on his shelf.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, I love this line. This is one of my favorite B'Elanna lines.
It will become what we help it to become.
Right.
There you go. 10 out of 10.
It's just a fucking, like, electromagnet and a few screws.
Oh, yeah. It's probably just like a SATA hard drive with a bit bolted on it. Eat all your information or you don't get dessert.
I just wanted to have the tantrum on the floor.
Apparently, Bamer really enjoyed being in the makeup. He said, like, it would be different if he had to do it all the time, but he thought this was a blast, having the whole bodysuit and everything.
I imagine it probably really helps with, like, getting into character.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. Oh, I love that he has to show him. That's so good.
If my cat was a Borg.
Yeah. So you would put food down. How do I do it? Oh, okay, there you
Oh, not this reaction, the slow zoom. Good acting.
Very good
like
camera
mouth
work.
parts. Good
That is
music.
A through F on elephant mating procedures.
I am in a room
with whiskers.
with lights.
I can talk. I can sing.
Why?
Does one have the Explorer trait?
I should do.
Individual.
Neelix's just like... You need to go to bed.
Getting sleepy.
Yeah. You're going to get eepy.
Lovely.
Perfectly played. Beautiful.
Another good shot from his point of view. Dude,
this is a great
he
scene.
had 7 seasons of TNG. We only see Geordi's visor once. But this guy's on the ship for 1 episode, and we see his point of view twice? 3 times.
Was that Naomi?
Unattractive.
No, was that Naomi's mother?
Wow.
No.
Rude.
God.
No, this is great because they're lamening it for the viewer.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, this is not the best Neelix shtick out there. You called the episode that.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
That's such a trope. Where he says it and the other person pretends not to hear it. These two, I feel like, are very similar type actors. Bob Picardo and Bamer. They had that sort of dry wit to them.
Where's my scanner? Where's my holder emitter?
He just pulls out
Where
a
is it?
magnet and tries to pull it out.
He gets a scalpel. I love that little bit of irritation.
Form of life. Great enunciation. No.
A little bit of
He lowers his
German
voice
coming
for
through
it.
there.
The German. Is that coded for another word, perhaps?
A happy accident.
Shut up, Doc.
Doesn't land, but it's a nice. It's nice.
Dude, this might be the first time he's got to be someone else to be the straight man for him. 'Cause he's always the straight man for someone else. Warp particles.
It's not quite.
7. You take that back.
Oh, fucking hell. Look in her eyes.
Readily vaporizable at low temperature.
I got a note.
I like this. Do you mind? It's polite of him to wait for authorization before.
Yeah, no, that's actually like he's fucking ready to go though. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Who designed this UI?
What's with the giant teardrop on his chest, though? That's a little distracting.
Called fashion. You wouldn't understand.
Look at that pride.
One.
Look at this PTA meeting.
One. Dude, it's Eliza Doolittle.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Overtired. The tears from Mulcahy.
Nice.
I like how Janeway laughs here.
Yeah, she's in the codpiece.
The Bussard like this, yeah. That pride on Seven.
Dude, great ass.
Fantastic. Roll credits.
Dude, she did a much better job than Janeway.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
you know what I like to think? I like to think that Annika Hansen was just kind of an asshole.
Well, I mean, even when she's like in Picard and later stuff, she's
Still
has
very
that hard
stiff,
edge to her. So
her parents were kind of assholes. Maybe it was genetic.
She hooks up with someone called Bajazel. I mean, that doesn't sound like someone with good taste.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what a stupid name.
Discount Deanna Troi.
I
mean, she's actually a great actress. She was in 24 season 8. Really good job there.
Oh, wow.
Is it really the best place for the cargo in the cargo bay? Maybe they should put it to the side or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, someone really did like a lazy job parking that.
I like how anti-gravity units are just space forklifts. Thank you, Mulcahy.
Who is on first?
He kind of looks like, what is it? Cartoon from back? Not Aquaman, but he looks like one of those, whatever. She uses mom voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's somewhere the Borg algorithm is like, if mom voice, comply.
Well, that's the Borg Queen thing, isn't it?
I love the pause. It's very Data-like.
Yeah.
This guy's great.
There's an alternate universe where he plays Data. It's probably not a bad alternate universe.
Yeah. And we're like, damn, Spiner's the best minor character actor of all time. Oh, see? Little heart.
Yeah. There you go.
Whose chin is more cleft, Jerry Ryan or J. Paul Damer?
Him, yeah.
His. Yeah, it's his.
Okay.
For the trivia questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I steal your memory off a pull on cleft chins?
Flashy lights,
Uh-oh.
not good.
His LEDs are LEDing.
It's good storytelling. Show not tell.
Mm.
You just see the lights blink and.
Oh, this is before Dark Frontier, isn't it? So this is
You think
Borg
so,
Queen
yeah.
coming back into the fold.
Yeah. So you just have generic Borg. Oh, this is, yeah. That's a grim look.
Hey, one.
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up!
Dude,
Where are my Cheerios?
There was light from below. I thought his codpiece lit up for a second.
Morning wood.
That would be embarrassing. Everyone's there. Dude, he's so fun to watch, even when he's not speaking. The bar. Yeah, the timing was real good on that.
Yeah, you knew we were gonna have to do it eventually. Roll this PowerPoint presentation. Look at that Borg just going ooh, ooh, in the bottom left.
He's like, sounds fun.
Isn't it kind of weird how his armor looks like unrefined metal?
Oh, he's still like growing. I know you're gonna say it.
I'm not saying it this time. No. That's one too many overtired. We don't want to wear it out. Replicators.
Holodecks.
Codpiece.
Neelix is cooking.
I want to taste 29th century pot roast now. Good
Yes or
answer.
no
It
question,
is good
7.
writing. Good writing there. She could have said almost anything there, but they picked the right. Nobody gets misty-eyed faster than Kate Mulgrew.
Don't listen to
dead
her
ass.
bias and individuality. You're not wrong.
I like this little scene here. One of the better walk and talks. Oh, there's shy porn in the background. Dude, he's getting high. It's like a high, the rush of adrenaline, the feeling.
Yeah.
He loves it.
It's his first time doing it. Yeah, his first time being excited.
Usually after
Well.
this, we smoke.
Why don't you just wave the white flag? Ooh, good look at the sphere. I like spheres. I mean, Borg spheres. You know what I mean?
Just holds a football. I love this.
I love rock.
God forbid I enjoy a fucking episode of Star Trek for the first time in about a calendar year. Oh, that's a little creepy. I like it. How come they got rid of the cutting beam after TNG?
It's OP.
Oh, good reaction there.
Good music too.
Oh, here you go. Snap into action.
Efficiency of movement. Very, very good.
Well, that's a good shot.
Oh, that's a good shot. Yeah, I like that.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
And speaking of OP, one is like a cheat code.
He is.
Yes. Oh.
Good line read.
He's disgusted by the Borg. How dare they try to attack our ship? You may fire.
Yeah, like a little bit of smugness almost.
That's J. Paul at work. Dude, they're very tactile when he removes his arm.
Oh man, he's so good.
Oh, dude, we should have put him in the poll for best character along with Sirno Kohlrami.
Yeah, actually.
Dude, I love
that. Yeah.
I'm
All right, guys, if we have a
you
secret
guys.
handshake, it's going to be that.
Take in my court piece.
It's a great low angle. The green screening is very Enterprise-esque.
That is a ridiculously large cod piece. They did not need to.
What, are you ashamed of? Just like walks out to him.
I know. It should be like Mud's
Body
belt where the
checking
cod
them.
piece gets bigger in every scene.
Just no clips through the ship.
Well, I love the little touch of the laser still being active on that one drone.
Da, 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 da. I like the music.
He tummy touched them to death. Yeah, basically.
Just bro. I love that effect.
Ooh, yeah, no, you don't get to see too many implosions in Star Trek. It's cool.
It's a gentle breeze.
It's the caretaker again.
Yeah.
We can't go around calling him the drone.
Harry didn't get that memo. I thought that the Borg didn't really need like protection in space. Like they didn't have them in First Contact.
Well, I think because he's damaged and like bleeding out, maybe that's the difference. Relief.
He shouldn't be.
The long powering down noises are kind of funny.
I'm sorry, but can I like crack open his skull and get my?
He's like, I've been waiting for this.
My thoughts departed.
Like for the Doctor, he just opens up like his Baldur's Gate 3 loot menu.
I want to see him like power washing it on the floor. Gotta get rid of the gunk on this emitter.
Yeah, who cleans the sick bay?
Good dissolve. Good use of dissolve.
Mm. See, I had to make a joke there because otherwise I would be depressed.
This was his favourite alcove.
I like that, like the lighting on that one alcove is extra dark to just like further the emotional point.
Yeah, good full circle moment there.
Mm.
Roll credits. Like from a director's standpoint, they're like, all right, here's where we'll splash the credits and it'll look great.
I see my name under Jerry Ryan's face. Okay. Oh, let me just fill up my water. And then we'll start.
No worries.
Yeah, wait until Seven discovers capitalism. Then she's really going to suffer. See, and I'm afraid to say anything because it should all be recorded for posterity. Our grand thoughts.
Our grandest of thoughts.
Actually, awards. I'm going to add J. Paul in there posthumously now that he's dead. What do we have? Most memorable guest star? Dude, he's way better than The Rock, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He actually does stuff in the episode.
Although not as good as Nose Puffy guy from Voyager. Beamer. All right. He's getting the runner-up instead of The Rock. Who knows who The Rock is anyways? All right.
He'll never get over.
No, see, I can't say that. Gotta wait till we're...
Gotta wait.
This is interminable. All right. Actually, let's look ahead. Voyager Season 5. Up next, we have Extreme Risk. Dude, so good. I can't wait to talk about that Chakotay scene where he drags her into the holodeck.
10 out of 10. That's going to be like a 10
Extreme
out of 10.
Risk and In the Flesh. Oh, that's what the Species 8472 where Chakotay flirts
good.
with. Yeah. I think that might be the first time something gets rated lower than a 9 in Season 5. But we'll see. I don't want to presume.
Okay, everyone, welcome to Star Trek Trek, our ongoing journey through the episodes of Star Trek. And we are continuing our summer of Voyager with Season 5, Episode 2's very own Drone Winner. Mulcahy. Yes, the very... Can we talk about him? How complete lack...
He deserved it.
I'm just going to go straight into this. But it's like the way Ensign Mulcahy jumped into that... Not even jumped, just walked into that science lab where everything was assimilated and just didn't even react, didn't emote. He just looked at it and just kind of went, how odd. Everything seems to be assimilated. What if I get my face really close to it?
This is like that's the kind of like reaction that will get you a position on like Alien Covenant, not on the USS Voyager.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we've just watched
Drone. I think we reviewed a past Trek where someone did something equally dumb, where like he deserved to die. Mulcahy deserved to. Wait, did they pronounce?
So he survived.
I don't know. He survived. Yeah,
okay.
He's alive.
Okay.
He's still alive in workforce, even. Like, he got out of that. Guess what, Mulcahy? He survived and Carey didn't. Now, there's justice for you.
Mulcahy?
Mulcahy?
Mulcahy. So this episode was
so dumb.
Directed by Les Landau, who has just been all over Trek. He's done loads of Trek. So much stuff.
All right, I have to shout out, because this has been seared into my memory since we reviewed Time and Again from Season 1. Les Landau directed that abominable pile of garbage. And I think when we reviewed it, you said something like, yeah, it was a big surprise for someone as storied as it. And it's true because of episodes like this. He had, I won't say a light touch. It was noticeable touch. Like he influenced, impacted the episode. My Bread is going to be one of the shots that he pulled off. We get, like I said, Jordy's been around for 7 seasons and how many movies? We see his visor inside his visor once. And we saw like the Borg point of view 3 times, muffled voices. Well, yeah, but twice in the walk and talk, and then when he's in the maturity chamber.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Jordy. You see his point of view twice.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a fake fan anyway. And then great stuff with the nebula expanding, like they did effects with the sphere crumpling and explosions. Like they just a lot of good visual
Voyager
stuff to feast on.
Being assimilated was just great. This was written.
Yeah, that belly shot was great.
Yeah, belly shot. This was
Which is not something I get to see very often.
Belly shot. Belly's going to get you. Written by Brandon Braga, Joe Minoski, and Brian Fuller, who is equally a writer.
He is a very prestigious name.
He is a prestigious name, mostly for starting series and then abandoning them. But he is also he was
all the way through.
Done some Trek work before: Empok Nor, Living Witness, Fury, Course Oblivion, but also was the showrunner. Well, at the start anyway, for Star Trek Discovery. So another
for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, for about 5 minutes. Okay, guys, I've got a little quiz for you. So. J. Paul Boehmer, who played the Epinus 1 in this episode. Can you name me? He played a Nazi officer in Star Trek 3 other times. Can you tell me which 3 episodes they were?
The Killing Game.
Yeah. What was that one you said, Auto?
I don't remember the third one. So Cold Front, Killing Game.
Yep.
Yeah. Another one with the Nazis in it.
I'll take the tiebreaker, and then we can be a good trio, the 3 of us.
I mean, yeah, sure.
He already knows.
This is a question.
Where would it be?
Very specifically, another Nazi officer.
I'm trying to think of where the other one would be.
Was it the TOS episode?
No.
Baby Nazi J. Paul Boehmer.
No, it was. I'll put you out of your misery. It was 0 Hour, another Enterprise episode, very close to. Yeah, so
memorable.
He played 3.
Oh, that's a 2-parter with Cold Front. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but he plays a completely different Nazi.
Oh wow! Really? Okay.
In all instances, it's just like, this is my thing. He also plays Vornar into the DS9 episode "Tacking into the Wind" and Mistral in Carbon Creek. So he's done a bit of a similar stuff. Do you want to go? Because also, I can tell you're itching at the bit to talk about the drone. Please go forth.
No, I'm light on background material and such this time. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about him. He was so fun to watch in the background. Like most episodes, you're watching, even as you're reviewing, you're watching the people talking because they're going to be the ones generally emoting the most. This reminds me of the time that Shiapur included us in Disaster at the beginning where they're talking about Molly O'Brien or whatever, and Michael Dorn is in the back playing with his comm badge. I went back and watched that, and he really was chewing the scenery in that. It was good. J. Paul is so much fun to watch when he's in the background because he's doing the data thing. Like he's reacting to what they're saying, but in a very like giant Borg toddler way, and he does an excellent job.
Well, it's very charming as well because it's like the makeup does such a good job of making him seem extremely alien, extremely threatening. He's got that Nazi face. He just has the face.
Chin.
Yeah. Guess what? Like, no disrespect to him, he seems like a nice guy. And then he just completely undercuts it with great physical acting that is immediately recognizable as Borg through the intense efficiency and like directness, but it has like a degree of innocence to it. Like so much of like the facial movements and the way that he follows has just like that little toddler energy, and it immediately disarms him, and you don't really feel like you're in danger around him, which is like the guy's a 29th century Borg. He's one of the most like terrifying things like theoretically you could potentially encounter if you're like a Starfleet officer, and yet like the instant you see him, like, no, that guy's not dangerous, not really.
I feel like they didn't play that much into it. Like they said, oh, he's got all this 29th century technology, but apart from like just basically
the end,
belly bumping a few Borg about and and then sort of like interfacing with things, it didn't seem like he was. They didn't capitalize on that so much. They could have like come up with some real wizardry, just like out of thin air, just gone like, here's a phaser or something. I don't know.
I mean, he does single-handedly destroy an entire Borg sphere by like beaming on there and then taking control. That is pretty damn impressive, I thought.
And don't forget, he beams himself there because he has that internal transporter node.
Yeah.
Like fucking, you want to about the 31st century when they've got their comm badges that allow them to beam everywhere they want? He could do that now. Like, that's how OP he is.
All right, so Idle, since you brought it up, what kind of Borg parlor tricks could they have sprinkled throughout the episode that he could have done to be like, whoa, that's futuristic?
I don't know, maybe just walk through the walls or something, like just something that, because at this point it's like the science is magic thing, isn't it? Indistinguishable from magic if it's so advanced. I felt like nothing he did was that indistinguishable that made us kind of go like, oh my gosh, this is really futuristic. It's kind of one of my problems with Discovery a little bit in season 3 and 4 is like, okay, detached nacelles and transport and combat, but this all sits within the world. I think the closest they get to is the the programmable matter. That feels like that's like proper futuristic stuff. So like he could probably turn around and sort of like, phase through the wall, or like just suddenly go like, I can create this through the energy of the air, just something that's just like feels like magic, or as opposed to just like I can do what we already do but better.
See, the problem with that is that like they've already established that the 29th century technology is pretty damn far ahead, like mobile emitters, like time ships, all this kind of stuff. But like even still, it's still within like spitting distance. It's still recognizable as like Starfleet technology. So like I feel like they're just hewing close to that and keeping their own continuity intact. Like the 29th century is pretty far ahead. Like you got Braxton stuff, but even in the 24th century, you can reliably time travel if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So like it's still, I feel like they're just keeping their own continuity at that point. And like, if you did start pulling out like ridiculous parlor tricks, like I'm going to like phase through walls, or I'm going to magic up disruptors or whatever, like it'd be just a bit
osmosis
much.
Or something like that.
And not to mention, they need to be able to sell the fact that he is a 29th century Borg drone, and he survives at the end, but only just because you have to have a power scaling. We talk about this all the time in like comic books or movies, but like you need to make it within the lore feel like that he is not indestructible, because there needs to be credence to when he says they will keep on coming, and maybe I could survive it, but like how many of you would die in the process? I would not be able to single-handedly stop the entire Borg collective, because that's just ridiculous, and that destroys the entire. Like I feel like it's within keeping that he's not doing ridiculous bullshit all the time.
Future's
also
End
young. I'm sorry.
So young. Future.
So young.
Future's End is about a third of the way through season 3. So in 4 2/3 seasons.
So young.
It's going to be one of the worst line reads of all time. So through 4 2/3 seasons, how many times has Voyager used his future technology to do anything spectacular other than emit dock in a place? Like they've never used it, right?
I think that's the only thing they got with it, though. It was just a mobile emitter. It can't really.
No.
But it's like setting the standard of what 29th century technology is like.
They did download Seven's like through her cranial implants into Doc's emitter, right? So that's like they did that with it. So it doesn't make sense because they never really utilize it. It doesn't make sense for him to do everything with it. That's.
And it's
I
also
would have liked.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so we did the belly bump, which I think we thought that was a little silly. What if instead of that, he projected 2 holograms of himself?
Yeah.
They attack the drones for him, and then you see it like fizzle out, so you can tell it's a hologram. I think that would be a cool use of.
He could have just jumped into space and just made a starship around him and just gone off. And...
Well, no, that's a little too much. Like, if
all
we're
right,
talking power scaling.
Fan.
We're talking power scaling. I think like.
No, I need integrity in my science.
He just wants to do a Kamehameha. Don't pay attention to him. It's also a case of like, yeah, it's 29th century technology, but I feel like it's significant that it is just a mobile emitter. Yeah. Like that's the equivalent of like, oh, you get like a piece of technology from like 300 years in the future, but it's just a mobile phone. Yeah, it's really advanced, but it's not like, like it's
like me taking a microwave to the 15th century. It can make water really hot, but that's about it.
Yeah, and also good luck getting any power to it.
Yeah,
there's enough like extrapolating out.
But we have Borg power nodes now, so I'll take one of those with me too. And actually, they carried the little generator with them through the ship. Oh no, that was last episode. Sorry,
that was night. They're still carrying it.
I want to bring back. I'll bring back a segment, and you guys can take low hanging fruit if you want. Hero of the episode. And I'll go last here. So
wow,
because I think there's two obvious ones. Feel free to take them.
I'll say 7.
Who stood out?
7. Definitely hero of this moment episode. Well, Jerry Ryan specifically, I will say, is my hero of this moment because her acting in this was phenomenal. Like, and a lot of it is what we praise Anson Mount for is the micro acting. It's the little reactions, the expressions, like especially in the opening scene where the Doctor comes in and she just looks at him, just like, oh god, right, really, you're here. But I think it should be my hero of the episode.
The you're hurting me at the end is like, oh, there's a gut punch. That was the climax right there.
Yeah. I will not take the other obvious answer, and I'm going to go ahead and say Janeway. I'm going to say Kate Mulgrew.
I thought you were going to say
Okay.
No. Well, what did he do other than be like a
villain of the episode, Mulcahy?
He was the Friday the 13th the victim. He's victim number 3 who has an uninspiring death. No, I really appreciate what Mulgrew was doing. Like that scene with her in 1 is just so charming and cute. And I also. Yeah, it's very cute, and it also kind of underlies a little bit of something about Janeway is that she is kind of a wide-eyed idealist in ways, like that she slides back and forth on that scale depending on the episode. But like so often with the Borg and with 7 and everything adjacent to 7, she is a big optimist and idealist of no, you can grow past this, you can become a fully fledged individual in your own right. And seeing that here in full goddamn display, with like a touch almost of naivete, I kind of appreciated seeing that bright-eyed like edge to her, and then immediately followed up with 7 waking up to just the grimmest look after he activates the proximity transceiver. Like, good emotional range on that. She's great in this episode. And I appreciate that moment where she looks at 7 on the bridge, and she can tell that 7, after they think that the sphere is blown up and 1's gone with it, where 7 is frozen, and she gives her a look, and she's like, I want to do something for you right now, but we just had a battle with the Borg cube, and I've got to get everyone organized. Damage control teams.
She missed it up in a moment. Like, that's pure Mulgrew.
Yeah, just... extreme. Guess what? You can always rely on Mulgrew or Ryan to do something amazing in a Voyager episode. And guess what? They delivered. Otto, your hero of the episode.
It would be Miss B'Elanna Torres. Starting from the beginning, we're fucking creeper Doc. I told you he's a creeper in the later seasons. Pops in while she's naked. She's like, "I'm so sleepy. I can't even be Klingon angry at you right now because I'm so sleepy." Throws a towel over him, but she gets all these little quips. Very good. You get a gold star, and a volatile temperament, readily vaporizable at low temperature. Like she's involved with a lot of the humor on the episode. She does get Klingon angry later, but they play off her very well because she's an established character with established traits, and she displays them as you would expect in this episode. So she doesn't go above and beyond, but I feel like she's kind of the glue for a lot of the interactions.
Yeah, she's a reliably good interactor, and it's like, guess what? I fucking love Roxanne Dawson. She always does great work.
Very good.
I have a question for you two. Like, bearing in mind that Voyager has the reputation of overdoing the Borg a lot, and it's part of the reason that people are kind of sick of the Borg. Do you feel like if you were to kind of strim out a lot of the Borg episodes in Voyager and Star Trek in general, would this make the cut? Would this be one to stay there?
Yes.
This would stay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This would stay. I would happily lose Dark Frontier over this.
Interesting.
Which we will see in a few weeks.
Okay. Yeah, Dark Frontier is okay, but I don't think it holds a candle to this, really.
Okay.
I don't know when we'll get to it. There's an episode I don't even know if how I can describe it. They go to salvage something from a Borg, like debris field or whatever, and we get this the introduction of the scene is the elevator doors open and Janeway's standing there with this pose, like she can't be bothered, and she's like, "The Borg," or whatever she says, and it was just so. It was so, or when she said a cube, she says something like she just can't even be bothered to come to the bridge for this minor inconvenience. And I'm like, is this what the Borg has become, where we just get sassy Janeway because she has to deal with them at this moment in time? And I'm like, I feel like I could pinpoint.
Can I get that again? Can I get that again?
No. When we watch the episode, I'll do full mode group.
The Borg.
Right, but you can. So I think you can pinpoint the moment where they jump the shark on the Borg, and that scene is where I'm like, okay, if you don't even respect them at all, how are we as a viewer supposed to respect them? Right. That's my hook.
Yeah.
I'm dancing.
I
off.
also guess what? Like, I feel like if anything, this episode builds up the Borg because a single sphere is built up to be a big fucking deal, and it's a problem. Not even a cube. A sphere is a problem. Like this does not contribute to Borg decay. This, if anything, shores up a little bit. It's other episodes that really start to get at that.
Okay, gentlemen, let's go on to Borg. What is your bread of the episode? The moment that stood out to you as something being significant and won't ever leave your mind. Let's start with you, Stars. What was your bread of the episode?
So I quoted it to Auto right before the beginning of the episode, and I don't think you quite caught it, Idle, because
you stole my bread.
Yeah, no, it's because it's such a good line. I don't think you caught it, Idle, because you don't know this episode as well as me and Auto do. And it's that line read on "I was never meant to be."
Oh yes,
just like that innocence tempered with like, no, I have to die. I can't not die. I have to leave. And just like tragedy, because there's so much more he wants to do and experience, and so much more of a life he wants to lead. And it's like, it's almost overplayed. It's almost a little bit too dramatic. But like the emotion of the scene and the character and the way he's been written and the way he's been performed, you just buy it completely naturalistically, and it just pulls you so into that tragedy. Like it's that line read and look on his face, especially when you follow up with, "You are hurting me," and it's just like, "You will adapt." It's just like that quiet tragedy of it all just fucks me up good. It's such a good end. That's my bread.
What's your bread? Auto, what is your bread?
Yeah, I was going to take that, and "You Are Hurting Me" from Jerry Ryan. I'll give you two different breads, but they're both the incomparable J. Paul Boehmer. One, when he first starts assimilating the data nodule, and they do the slow zoom on his face, his mouth slowly falls agape, and like the wonder, we can't even imagine what his brain is expanding to in that moment, and he does his best to convey that. And then in the turbo lift, after we get this walk and talk where the Borg are coming, and he's talking to Seven, and he's getting this rush of adrenaline, and you can see he's like excited to meet what everyone else is freaking the fuck out about, but he's really excited because he's feeling things internally that he's never felt before. So great acting. He did a lot to convey things wordlessly.
It's good bread.
My bread, definitely that very small shot of Voyager's belly when you got the sphere and the immensity, because you always think of spheres as quite small crafts. Actually, you show it's actually huge. It's like quite a large ship, and it's got its tractor beam locked on. You're looking right up the tailpipe of the Borg cube, the Borg sphere, essentially. And yeah, it's a really nice shot. It doesn't last that long, but it's just like, oh wow, they're doing something different. This is awesome. That stuck with me as a kind of like, wow, we need more shots like this. Go on.
Sorry, I remembered my real bread. I don't mean to run over you. It's the last Landau. It's where they set down the mobile emitter. He walks away, and they get this weird angle, and the back is saw focused, and then you see the little tubules pop out, and one of them pops toward the
Yeah.
camera like an optical illusion. I do always remember that when
The CG shot is very iconic. Yeah.
Sorry, Idol.
I have another bread actually. Is when security's when Tuvok's security team walks down the hallway in perfect lockstep. You kind of get the Guardians of the Galaxy moment as Seven perfectly forms in and they're ready for action. That was quite good.
Yeah, it's good shit.
All right, how about
The best advice I can give you is to just be yourself.
You're the worst thing that ever happened to Zek. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Actually, that's the second best piece of advice.
In fact, you're the worst thing that ever happened to the entire Ferengi Alliance.
No.
Okay, best and worst moments, gentlemen. I'm going to kick us off here. I'm going to start with my worst moment. Why the fuck did they put 5 people in a shuttlecraft to go and look at a nebula when they were only spitting distance away from Voyager, and all of a sudden they're in trouble? Like, they're a science ship, and they just go to study this nebula. They send the tiny little shuttlecraft in there, jam everyone on it, and they just go like, we're in trouble. It's like, oh. Maybe we need a better shuttle. Maybe you need to send the actual ship in with all the scanning stuff. That got us just
the point. Yeah, because like in other episodes they'll like say why they need to send
like,
the gravimetric shear is like too much for a big ship. Like a small ship can avoid it more easily, something like that. But they don't even bother to do that here.
They have to do it because the transporter is how they get the accent. I think maybe they could have fixed that by having the shuttle out of range. You're on Voyager, then they just come into range, Mayday, Mayday, and then they beam them up, and that's where the accident happens.
So yeah, that's my worst moment.
And your best moment.
My best moment. Yeah, I think it is going to be the deathbed scene. I think that, and not for. I'm going to discuss this when we kind of get to the overall rating, but not for for J. Paul Boehmer. Sorry to say it, but more for Jerry O'Ryan. Jerry O'Ryan. Jerry
O'Ryan.
Oh, Jerry O'Ryan. Oh, you hurting me like this.
What does he say? What does he say in Spirit Folk? The lily and the rose are playing a jig on your face. When he says about 7 of 9.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it's more for her, and like kind of culmination of her arc through this episode was actually really nice. From sort of like kind of loosely played on her discovering her individuality over the line. And again, it's serialization in a show that isn't serialized. If you watch this out of the blue, you'd be like, well, why does this matter? But she develops this relationship very quickly of being the first sort of mothering figure, which she would then develop further on with Naomi Wildman and Icheb to sort of better effect. But I kind of really felt for Seven at the end there, and especially like you said, the hurting me line. So I'm taking that for my best moment. Oh, sorry, go on, Stars. You look like you're on something.
Well, I was going to say, like, I don't think it's to better effect. I think it's just a case of like blown out for more time because this is just a one and done. And I feel like this is a nice microcosm of that, because like you say, oh, it doesn't have as much impact if you don't know the wider thing. I think they set it up quite nicely with the full circle shot of her like trying to smile in the mirror. Like, even if you've never seen Voyager, that immediately communicates to you who Seven is, that opening scene, and why this entire thing matters. So like I feel like they do a decent job of you could do this as a one and done easily.
Best worst.
And your worst moment.
I already said it.
Oh, you said it, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, the guys in the shuttlecraft when they were like spitting distance from
No, I'm
Voyager.
talking to Stars.
No, Stars isn't going yet.
No,
Stars is just articulating.
Hasn't gone. Yeah.
Oh,
I was just agreeing with his point.
He was commenting. Sorry. He was reacting. Do your Janeway Burke again and go on.
No.
The back.
I'll give you two worst. Doc in the shuttlecraft was insufferable. Like they're under duress or whatever. He's like, gotta take a group photo. I'm like, why don't you shut the hell up? Turn yourself off to save power. That was kind of irritating. And then the walk and talk with Neelix, I wasn't feeling it. Where he was he was daft. He wasn't. It was like he wasn't all there. He didn't quite grasp what was going on. And then that little trope I don't like, where one says his name, and Neelix pretends not to hear, and then they just pivot away in the scene. So like, oh, we're cluing the audience in on what his name is. Those two I didn't love. I'm gonna go way off the beaten track for my best of. And where they take one to astrometrics, and they show him what the Borg are like, and they're playing this like montage of Borg clips, and it reminded me of Encounter at Farpoint where Riker joins the battle bridge and they play clips of what happened in episode 1. You're like, how are you getting these camera angles? Did you have an ensign with like a GoPro out in a spacesuit taking photos? It's like, how would they have these camera angles? So that was like low key hilarious to me. It didn't have any impact on anything, but just really like that. So
that's your best moment of the entire episode. Incredible.
Yeah, dude, I could take more best, but I just want to highlight something funny. So,
All right, Stars, best worst.
All right, my best moment has to be 1 and 7 in engineering, because I appreciate like the interplay between the two characters, so their chemistry has been established. The 1-2 punch of 7 saying, B'Elanna's got like excellent grasp of Voyager systems, although she's very volatile, and then like, playing on that. B'Elanna's like snap back and forth, her aggravation, and then just J-Paul coming in with like the perfect like denouement where it's just like, I can fix this for you in like 3 seconds, and then she just looks him up and is like, all right, and then he waits for the permission, and then but the instant he gets permission, lock the fuck in. He is so ready to show off that he can do it. He's really eager. And it's just like, it's such a well-played scene. It's such a... It sells you on the idea that one could potentially be a part of the crew, even though he's not going to be. Worst part of the episode... you already took the bit in the shuttle. Yeah, I think it kind of has to be like Doc in general, just kind of being a bit too obnoxious in this episode.
Oh, dude,
he's dialed he's dialed one bit too high on all the things, like the creepiness. I get why he's.
He
it's
says,
like, well,
you
do have a, as you also kind of have a history of being a bit of a sexual, given what we know, what happens with what is it, Body and Soul later on with 7, and you became sexually aroused from my body. Like, you are not beating the allegations here, bro. And then just like in the shuttle being obnoxious, like he claws it back by like with the bit in sickbay where he's talking with 1 and you kind of expect him to keep on harping on about the emitter, but he ends up like pushing that away and being a bit more about the Starfleet ethos, and kind of trying to welcome 1 onto the crew and telling him the joke that doesn't land. It's like they're clawing it back there, but it's like, this episode doesn't make Doc look the best. So that'd be my worst.
Oh, I think we've gone around everyone now, haven't we? I'm losing track now. Okay, let's go on to...
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3.
That's much too low a rating.
It's not too low a rating.
Seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
So unsatisfactory. Gentlemen and Stars, especially, please, what is our Schiller rating code for this episode?
I'm really happy with this one. I think you both will appreciate it. Gentlemen, how many jaunty pronunciations of Mulcahy's out of 10 would you like to give this episode?
Pronunciation of
there's certain fluctuations of words, as was once said in TNG, that stick in my head. There's Mulcahy. There's in the pilot where Janeway says, "Who are the Clazon Ogla?" because she flubbed the line and they didn't retake it. That like lives in my head. There's these little Mulcahy.
Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna step in because you guys are gonna basically take
We're
a running
gonna talk
punch
for the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna take a running punch at my opinion in a minute. But I thought this episode was okay. I found 1 a little bit too Crichton-like. If you've ever watched Red Dwarf, or very much
my
like
sprinkler
beep,
goes like THISSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSDSD STST and comes back like T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T.
Well, that's one way to get me to shut up.
This is your punishment. You're going to give this an unsatisfactory rating.
There we go.
And I'm
right.
not here for it.
No, I found one a little bit too much beep boop beep robot like. Very much sort of.
Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. You guys are like a running punch on my argument here. he was. And again, I felt like this association between his technology and what should be science is magic, and I kind of also think as well, like, this could have been the Icheb relationship because it needed to be fleshed out more. This needed to be a season. And again, I had the same conversation about Night as well. Like, these are concepts that need a lot more expanding. And they kind of have already done this story, and they kind of have done it better with Borg. Essentially, a Borg freed from the collective that gets a sense of, it gets to be taught what individuality is, except without this sort of impending threat from a sphere approaching. But you do have the same kind of tropes and the burgeoning friendship that develops between Hugh and Geordie, and again later on in Descent and what will come into Picard season 1. So I felt like this was kind of treading old ground. And again, I wasn't as sold on 1 as you guys were, and I wasn't as emotionally invested at the end on his side. I was on 7's side. It felt more real to her because we know the history, but I wasn't as sold on it. That being said, I did enjoy the episode. I did have a lot of fun watching it. Doc was creepy. I'm gonna give this a 7. It was enjoyable, above average Voyager episode that maybe just needed a little bit more time in the oven. Why am I wrong? Stars.
The thing is, I've seen Red Dwarf, and I know what Crichton is like, and like, my bro, you could not be more wrong.
I don't know,
this is not
felt
Crichton.
Very like, just not the way he spoke, the way he moved was the thing that got me.
Yeah, no, how dare anyone do any kind of physical body acting on this show, right? Fuck that guy. I pre-rated this 8, I think.
8.5.
8.5. I'm going to bump this up. I think that I knew I was going to bump it up, but I wasn't quite sure how much by. I'm going to give this a 9.2 jaunty pronunciations of Mulcahy's out of 10. The emotional core is absolutely there. It's elevated by a really strong physical performance by Boma and a typically brilliant Jerry Ryan performance. Yep. Everyone else hits their notes perfectly. There's a few bum notes here and there, mostly with Doc, but otherwise it completely landed for me. Like, it's memorable. Of all the Voyager episodes, this is probably one of the ones that when I think of the tapestry of Voyager and 7's journey, this comes to mind almost immediately as a big moment for her. And like you say, oh, this gets fleshed out later, and that's the point. It's introducing this as a concept for 7 that will grow out and makes it a lot more credible that she would want that kind of relationship and be willing to foster it and go for it in the future episodes. So,
sorry, chat said something hilarious.
Kerry Orion.
Kerry Orion.
Hold on, I'll text to speech it so we can hear his. Overtired says, "Why is Idol wrong? Because he thinks her name is Jerry Orion."
Beautiful. But yeah, 9.2 out of me. Otto, what is your rating for this episode? What's your Schiller rating?
I will tell you partly why you're wrong, Idol, because you said that's what they should have done with.
That was a rhetorical question, by the way.
Yeah, no, too late. That's what they should have done with Icheb. Well, Icheb's failings, their failings in his episodes, have no impact on how good this was in this episode. So, but. Other than that, you're totally entitled to your opinion. This is not a 10. I thought it might be a 10. The last 10 minutes of this are so sublime. I'll stack them up against anything. From the walk and talk, to the tension of the Borg, to the great graphics, to selling how powerful this force is. He enhances things. He gets real serious, delivers some great line reads when he enhances the... You may fire. And he's getting angry almost. He beams aboard, does some cool science bullshit. And then the huge emotional payoff at the end. Him and Jerry are both fantastic. So it's like, man, everything's really clicking. But I checked the timestamp while watching this, and you can't do that on a 10. We're about halfway in, and I'm like, I'm getting we're wandering a little. And I understand why they had to do that exposition. Surely they could have tightened a few things up there. And it just wasn't quite clicking. But but in most other respects, other than some of the early pacing, I think they just nailed it. I love that scene, the book report, where it reminded me of actually where Q Jr. shows up and actually reads a book report to Janeway.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're
and
right.
it's very earnest. And then he leaves, and we come to the realization that Seven is a much better mother than Janeway ever was. Like, in a few days, she has whipped this Borg into shape, and Seven is still bucking her years and years later. So that was just a funny little dynamic. But I love this episode. It has a place in my heart and my head when I think stray thoughts about Star Trek from time to time. I think about that scene. And this is actually one of the benefits of having watched things before. I know what I will take away and remember from the episode. And I'm not going to remember Doc creeping on B'Elanna. I forgot that ever happened. I won't remember Neelix being kind of a pest. I'll remember him going, he will become what we help him to become. Oh, how Starfleet of you. And that little back and that funny banter. I'll remember the funny parts and the emotional parts. I won't remember the bad parts because I haven't yet. So I'm sorry for being long-winded. I'm going to give this 9.7 jaunty Mulcahy's out of 10. I do thoroughly enjoy it. I do remember it all the time. It's very memorable for me. And I think because I grew up on this era of Voyager and UPN in my household, I may overrate some of these, but hey, that's why we're all here. So
guess what? No rating is objective. That's why that's why we're having fun with them. That's why they're different.
Speaking
Jerry O'Ryan.
She's famous last in all of your Voyager town. 8.6 is where we rate this episode. Sorry, I brought you down, but it's a fair and equitable system, which puts this just underneath Ad Astra per Aspera and just above Yesteryear in that kind of area. Better than Where No Man Has Gone Before. Not as good as Phage, another Voyager contemporary.
Phage was really fucking good.
Phage was
really good.
This didn't really have the super tight script that, so we watched Night right before this. There was not a wasted scene in that entire episode, and there were a few dull moments in this one. So,
well, thank you all for watching. If you're watching live, we'll be off now. If keep an eye out in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back with the next episode. Oh, we can actually tell you what the next episode is going to be. Otto, what is the following episode of Voyager Season 5 in our Summer of Voyager?
Good one. Up next, Extreme Risk, and then In the Flesh, because we are going in order. Extreme Risk.
I'm giving you my pre-rating right now. It's a 10 out of 10. Extreme Risk is a 10 out of 10.
Whoa, now.
Sorry, it is.
Stop playing trade.
There's a scene in there which I cannot wait to break down. Oh,
awesome.
Here's the thing. I don't know if B'Elanna is my favorite Voyager character, but she easily has some of my favorite Voyager episodes. I love her fucking episodes. So,
on that note, we'll see you next time. Live long, prosper, and ta-ra.
What about you, Hooker?
Well, I was thinking about Tahiti. What'd you have in mind?
I was thinking about dinner at my place about 8 o'clock. Why don't you make it 7? You can help me find a place to kill some new plants.
Hey, wait a minute. How do I know you can cook?
Okay, trust me.
Trust me? Now, where have I heard that before? Oh, come on.